Hello and welcome to the Collegiate Esports National Championship. I absolutely love Keglenik. I need to take this opportunity to say it. Absolute stand-up guy and a beautiful caster. Surprised to see him on NBA but not Valorant, but he did do a pretty damn good job. We're not done yet though, Kenny, because, well, we've just got Rainbow Six Siege left as well as another event as well. But this is what we're here for. This is the Rainbow Six Siege in the CENC. This is the big thing for us, isn't it?
Yeah, this is it. We have the final. Our Seed 1 and Seed 2 teams out of the groups. And they're here to play it all. Best of 5, grand final. And we have 5 maps ready and nearly ready to go. But I'm excited to bring it here from across the pond. This is my first cast in NA over from EU myself. As you probably could tell from the accent, I am from Britain. I am from England. And I'm glad to be here for the first time.
Well, I hope you've got your bottle of water ready because I've been in NA quite a few times, to be honest, and it's always an exciting time. I've also got Whippet as well to join me for a couple of other leagues, and he's never had a bad evening doing it, so I hope you have the same event. But the two teams that we're going to be having going up against each other, now these are teams that really have just proven themselves as really, really standout teams. The first roster that we're going to be bringing up onto your screen is going to be the IVC Lasers. You're looking at Quack Duck, Quackerbox, Reverie, 50 Cal, Dartex, and Fidelity. Quite a lot of ducks in there, and quacking. I think there's a theme going on, Kenny.
Yeah, the roster seems to have an ulterior motive of trying to figure us out and annoy us during casts. As Quack Duck Quackerbox is going to be a whole mouthful of 2 different players with practically the same name. But yeah, there's a motive here where they seem to love the Riverside and what brings with it. Here over the UK, we have swans, we have ducks. I assume over in Pennsylvania, California, those are 2 states I can think of. They have the same.
Kenny, it's America, not the moon. Yeah, they've got swans and they've got ducks as well. And while we have a little bit of a moment, fun fact, you might already know this, Kenny, because we're both English, but every swan is technically the queen's. So that's a nice little bit of information there. Jumping on to the other roster, though, the important bit, who the IVC Lasers are going to be competing against in this best of 5 final, is that Northern Virginia side. I gotta double check. I need to make sure I've got it right because I don't want to mess things up. Yes, the Northern Virginia Nighthawks. And they are going to be bringing Panther, Zay, Parallax, and Stable, and Toxic. Now, big thing for me, Kenny, is we don't know any of these teams ourselves. They've come through this scene and they've really made a name for themselves. But have they done it for us? We don't know them. They still have a lot to prove as they come into this final today against the Lasers. And honestly, I feel like this is a great opportunity to get in there. Best of 5. It's not a best of 3, it's not a best of 1. You need to be good at a wide range of maps, have a wide range of skills, and most importantly, a lot of mental fortitude.
Yeah, it's going to be an unknown factor for us because who's going to be showing up today? Who's going to be putting on a show for us? We don't know who's the fragger in the team, who's that hard support, who's going to be the linchpin of both rosters, who's going to put in the work for their team to bring them through this arduous journey of a best of 5. It's as much about endurance as it is about talent. So both teams, I'm excited to see what talent they can show to us, and it's going to be a fantastic match, especially with the maps that we will be bringing you towards. We will be showing our map band very shortly. And our first stage of contention will be Clubhouse.
Yeah, Clubhouse, I feel it's always that default map that you got to go to, and you have to know it. If you don't know how to defend or attack Clubhouse, something's wrong. Coastline, they'll be offering a test of the mechanical abilities. When you're looking at this map, it's really down to just the fragability, the adaptability of your team, and most importantly, the endurance you have when things are going wrong. Oregon will be that 3rd map where we are going to be heading towards, and a lot like Clubhouse, it's a very default map. It's very much one of those where you've got to go to it, you've got to know your default setups, you've got to know that general game plan. consulate, though. We're scattering these coastlines and consulates around, so it's keeping things exciting before we come to Theme Park in what could quite possibly be, Kenny, the last time it's played competitively.
Yeah, obviously, a few months ago we swapped out Theme Park 4 Chalet and the map pool, but we're still in this season of the college esports, and that means that teams aren't going to be as well versed playing on Theme Park because not many other teams are going to be streaming it, or it's not just being seen inside of T1, T2 esports. There's not many matches that you can watch on Theme Park because it's been replaced by Chalet. So that's a real unknown quantity, and if we need all 5 maps, that's going to be a complete mess because I'm sure that both teams know how to play Theme Park, but it's not going to be as strat heavy and structured as the previous 4.
I kind of want to go against you on that one. I think if it takes all 5 maps, it's really going to test the team that has that wider map book, that wider strat book. Because Theme Park, it's the map that they've still been playing for this whole season, remember. You've got to keep that in mind. So they still remember the strategies. They still remember how to play it. The question is, how well prepared are they? How versed are they? That muscle memory of just going on autopilot, getting the job done. Is that going to be there? Well, we're not going to know. It's going to take quite a bit of time and an incredible series to find out. But the first bans for Clubhouse will be a Thatcher, and it will shock away nobody because the breach... Well, if a Thatcher's on the board, it just gets open way too early. Bandit tricking can take place, but just downstairs in a stock lounge take, well, immediately that wall's open.
Yeah, the availability of the Bandit trick depends on whether Maverick is this second ban, and it will not be Maverick, it will be the Monty. So taking Garage Rafters, taking Dirt Tunnel is going to be a tougher task. You can't just sit the Mountain, the main shield operator, down those lanes to force out the anchors. So Maverick on the board, that means that we're going to see no Bandit tricking, we're going to see a heavy emphasis on zero wall denial because Maverick, what does he do? He doesn't care about wall denial. Cade will be that first defender ban. So even though we have Maverick on the board, IVC lasers, they don't want to deal with those electric cores. Maybe Maverick's not one of those operators that they are willing to be bringing. So we'll be singing more the Thermite, the Ace, or the Hibana combo. We have all 4 hard breaches left up on Clubhouse, which does sway it slightly more balanced as a map, because typically Clubhouse defender sided, but I think with all 4 hard breaches on the board, we could see a fairly level playing field.
Yeah, I think this ban is very much focusing towards that attacker sided on the actual ban itself, but the map is more defender sided. You look at that Maverick, man, most importantly, alongside the Cade ban. I think that's the lasers just kind of reading into it, saying, we've got a real opportunity to start our attack strong. Put some really good rounds on the board and just shut everything down. Now, the big thing on this lineup immediately is that Reverie, she is going to be bringing that Kali, and with Thatcher taken away, it makes quite a bit of sense, but that's not where we're going to be heading. If that Thatcher and Maverick is on the board, a lot of teams are up for the bottom floor, simply because it's easier to defend. It's easier to bunker in. That Bandit, well, that's gonna fake out the CCTV, but it's not really gonna work. Reverie, she's gonna switch to the Hibana just in case. I think the lasers, they haven't put all their eggs in one basket. They've looked at this lineup and said, that could also be down below. There's quite a lot of opportunity for C4s and for impact tricking on the hatch, so maybe they're not CCTV. That's something quite interesting, and I'm very excited to see that the lasers have got that ability to read into the lineups. Granted, the Pulse is a dead giveaway, but still, think about it. If you can start reading into the defender lineups and their strategy very early on, just from seeing the operators, well, that's a lot of potential.
Yeah, I love seeing the Pulse in play. He is one of my favourite operators inside of Siege. I personally just love what he can bring to the table in terms of that cardiac scanner and how it interacts. How it interacts with his C4, his gadget, his main secondary gadget. And Pulse and a C4, it's a marriage made in heaven. It's almost like Ash and the R4C. They're just 2 mainstays of Rainbow Six Siege. So Lasers, they're going to start on their assault of the basement. They're bringing the Nomad to obviously lock down these flanks. And with all 5 members of Nova situated on that bottom floor, those air jabs are going to be pivotal in keeping them locked in the basement area. But this is Nova's plan. They want to play the intel game. We have the Legion, the Valkyrie, and the Pulse. 3 intel operators and 2 C4s to make use of that intel to gain them early kills.
Yeah, I think you're definitely hitting the money on the head when you're talking about the defenders. They want to just bunker in, get the information, and use it to favor them. This is a very viable strat because, like you said, when you look at it, you've got the Legion, the Valkyrie, the Pulse. They give away that visual information. The Legion, it gives away just that audio information and passive damage if it's not dealt with, and can really punish stalling out on a push. Big thing as well is you've got the Jaeger, that 416, and the Rook MP5 with the 2X. Well, that just makes life even harder for the attackers. These long lines of sight, they can be shut down with one good swing. Start to approach halfway on the round timer at the moment, and the roam clear it's gone through. It's been quite successful, but the first kill's going to come through. That long line of sight, Panther's going to be able to find a Honk Goose, and essentially you've cut off the biggest thing that the attackers need. The C4 will go and will be able to down Darthex. That's going to be the hatch open, but the Thermite injured. The revive can come out, but it's going to be at the risk of this Pulse. Luckily, they're going to pull back in the freezer. They know about it, but there's nothing Unstable can do. And Quackerbox will be able to even that player count, has control of Dirt, and the main stairs is ready to be taken again. This is starting to look a little bit more balanced, Kenny.
However, the lack of soft breach on the side of the offense means that the Pulse can sit back armory beneath the hatch, but safe. Yes, there's the soft floor above him, but no holes have been made because the only possible soft breach is dead. Honk Goose on the Ash is down, so here we go. Unstable can use that cardiac scanner to check the area above him, check how many players are on the kitchen hatch, and act accordingly. He will be droned out here by Reverie, and that means that Quackerbox is going to advance down Dirt Tunnel to potentially get aggressive. But it's Toxic elsewhere onto the main stairs. Down goes the Nomad. Twitch, she's going to spot the head of the Jaeger but not land a shot. Zay on a 1 bullet's worth of HP, but ultimately still standing, and now with 10 seconds left, the push has to come out from the offense. One shut down, it's all up to Reverie with the Hibana pushing through a single doorway, and Toxic is there to shut her down, and Nova, their first defense.
Yeah, there was quite a few things in there that I really look at and I say, well, positives and negatives, essentially, Kenny. As you take a look at the replays, let's break down quite a bit of this. Quack wasn't able to land the shots, and while we can talk about the importance of it, that wasn't the biggest issue, because it happens. You know, you could just say you've got to win those and then move on. Realistically, like you said, there's a severe lack of that soft breach, especially with Thermite being downed. With that C4 going off, you know a Pulse is down there. You don't want to start opening up that floor because you realize how much danger there is. So you don't want to put a Thermite charge down. It takes a lot of time to place and to detonate. I feel like they were very much forced into a corner. With Reverie, yes, switching off of that Kali onto the Hibana, but in doing so, they sacrificed that soft breach because that Kali was that pick in the first place. CCTV, though, the Kali is going to get stuck because this is the site for her. With Cade being taken away, the bandit charges, they're going to have to go on the wall, and thus can't be hidden in those horrible positions. Let's be honest. Every time you're using a Kali and you get one of those Kali charges on the wall and it doesn't take the K-Claws, it's just pain, isn't it, Kenny? Because that's so much utility potential gone. Deployable shields, Evil Eyes, it's all still on the board if that's the case. But I like this. Maverick is still available, and that's what Nova are prepping for. They've got 2 ADSs ready to deal with a Maverick hole, to get a frag grenade in, and deal with this bandit trick. However, that's not going to be the case.
Yeah, Reverie, I like the coupling of the Kali and the Thermite. It just makes the breach so much easier to get rid of, but the bandit trick is going to be the main counter to that. Bandit can trick through those lance grenades exploding. It only does about 5 HP damage, so that's a worthwhile trade if you're the bandit, because you can collect one of those exothermic charges. And Thermite, he only has 2 exothermic charges available to him. And losing half of your utility, your only hard breach utility, could be devastating for the round, because that means you can't then open up bottom garage or any further walls on the construction side if you want to do a split push. But here comes out the lance. Darthex, he's going to be going for the left wall. Now it's a 50-50. He's going to be going for the middle, so the Bandit's going to be able to trick no matter what side he chooses. The second lance goes out, removes one of those Bandit wires. The impact from below from the Zofia is going to mean that the Bandit is going to stick the trick. And yes, both exothermics gone, Bandit trick successful.
Yes, the main breach, it is stuck, it is holding there, and right now we're seeing pressure on CCTV window a bit late. 50 cal trying to put some pressure onto the Bandit, but, well, like you said, Zay, you'd already done the job, all those thermite charges are gone, you could just walk away at that point, you know you're successful. Right now, this puts Lasers in a very awkward position, especially with Hongoose getting that goo mine in the foot, a little bit of information, the audio information is there. Right now, you sat down below, you're realizing there's utility to clear and that you can deal with, but you need to know where. You don't have a real opening onto site. The Lasers, they're struggling to push inside, and well, right now they're just trying to work out what to do. I think they're going to opt for a garage push, and this can be risky, but it can also pay off. You get control of rafters, you take that Jaeger out of the picture, and you start to move forward. Right now, they've got a crossfire to deal with it. Toxic is going to take some shots, but isn't going to know exactly where to return the fire to. And as such, Hongoose going to be able to push through. 50 cal will be taken down by Unstable, but Darthex is there for the cover. Hongoose is going to ramp things up, finding that kill into rafters, and the push is going to start coming through. Panther, with the FMG9, is looking for a kill as well. And will be able to find it is Zay, actually, onto Hongoose. Now, Nova, well, they're just starting to collapse and trying to put pressure on these attackers, because right now, they're in a good spot. 30 seconds on the clock, and IVC Lasers with very, very tenuous map control. They don't have the sites, they don't have the avenues in, and right now, Zay's just going to try and collect a third, but wherever he's able to find a frag, Panther with one of their own things are spicing up. Panther gets a second, the push is coming onto site, but the C4 still on the board. It's all down to Parallax down below. You need to get the C4 in the right spot, and it's going to go exactly there. Mr. 50 cal doesn't have time. Nova, a close round, but it's theirs.
An extremely pivotal clutch there from the Valkyrie down below with the C4. The destructive capability of Rainbow Six Siege showcased to a T right there. We have a C4 to deny a plant and win a round based off the intel gifted by those black eye cameras. We spoke about the intel from last round, round 1 with the Pulse, the Valkyrie and the Legion. And there we saw the Valkyrie cams rather than the cardiac scanner being the intel of choice for Nova to really capitalize on winning a round. And it was a valiant effort for Lasers. Just remember, they didn't have the breach open and they still brought it into a 2 versus 1 situation at the depth for themselves. Unfortunately, who was there? Parallax down below the C4.
Kenny, I've got a question for you, because I know, you're a coach for a Yukin 2 team, and you played in it a little bit as well. You know your Siege, I think it's quite safe to say. Do you think if the Lasers, when they were trying to get the breach open, also worked on getting this control over to that Rafters area, do you think that would have helped or hindered them, really? Because you think about that added pressure coming to Rafters, Jaeger has to focus on something else, maybe CCTV can be open? What are your thoughts? I mean, I know I've kind of explained briefly what it could happen, but I'm really interested. I love hearing you go on your little tidbits.
Yeah, I think that obviously taking Garage is a tall order for the offense. It's just so easy as a player on Rafters to just maneuver yourself around and take gunfights that favor you, because you can be prone in so many different areas, you can be crouched in so many different areas and stand up in so many different areas. And when you think about perspectives, taking a gunfight from a higher level gives you an advantage, because it's easier to look down and take a gunfight than it is to look up. So you need every advantage you can get to try and clear Garage, and obviously opening the CCTV wall adds an extra avenue for angles onto those rafters through that window or the rotate that comes from Garage. And yet again, we're seeing Bandit tricks be successful. 2 Selma charges wasted away in the bin. And look at all the utility. Thank you very much for our Observer Science showing us 3 ADSs there, a castle barricade and 2 mute jammers, as well as the Bandit actively tricking Nova really don't want this breach to be opened.
Yes, but I feel like they've misallocated some resources. Parallax will take some damage, but you're looking at the ADSs all stacked by there. 50 cal will be able to get control and get a kill onto Parallax. You now have that opportunity to get into cash. And right now the push is going to be coming through from the Ash. Honkyu's going to be able to land that shot as the entry frag, finding the kill and compounding onto a second. IVC Lasers, their strategy, their win conditions of getting breaches open, it's been lacking, but their fragging has not. Right now, Unstable is going to be a real big stick in the mud for them with this little secret stash area. But Lasers, you're looking at this and I'm thinking, okay, well, there's 3 ADSs on that Jacuzzi wall. You didn't bother getting Gem Window open and getting control. Now, though, the push is going to have to come through. Ignore the strats, ignore the hard breach. The big things are coming through right now. They've realized this castle barricade is going to help, so Dartek wants to get that plant down. Zay's going to have to rotate around to Toxic, and with the plant going down, now it's post-plant for the Lasers. That castle barricade will be ripped down, and the audio information will gift the kill to the Lasers team at the moment. A retake position 2 versus 5, Kenny. It's not looking great.
No, especially now with Zay on the floor and Unstable in the grave. It's all on this slow as a slug 1 speed. The mirror, she gets air jabbed. The audio cue and the gunfire to add to it. It's Dartex, the man who planted the diffuser, to then end the post plant with a 3k to his name. Really impressive attack there from the Lasers to get their first round on the board. And they did it with aplomb. They had all 5 members still left up and running at the end of the round. And that is a statement to have. When you can win an attacking round flawlessly like that, that could turn the momentum in your favor and start to gather more rounds on your offensive half.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, and okay, so sure, that was great with fragging, but the big place where we've seen the Lasers lack and really slip up has been all of that, realistically. It's been the breaching, the hard breaching, that strategy. They've been relying on the gun skill quite a bit now. That's fine. And it's just one of those 2 really ideal or must-have rounds on the attacking side. But that was Gym Bedroom, and it relied a lot on Parallax and Unstable being taken away. The big thing for me was that breach, they didn't really drone out properly, in my opinion. They didn't notice 3 ADSs. Okay, well, that Kali can easily get rid of that castle barricade. You can put the pressure on Bandit. They can't Bandit trick because they're having to take this gunfight. So you get that wall open. You give another avenue of pressure, another avenue on attack, and I want to see Lasers have a little bit more strats than Honkus, run in, take Ash, go kill. But, Kenny, before I hand over to you very quickly, I do want to point out, they brought Soft Breach this time for that bottom floor, probably because they know it's the bottom floor this time.
Yeah, that was going to be my handoff point, is that Lasers, their strategy this round is adapting to what caused them to fail the last time they attacked the basement bomb site. Their lack of Soft Breach to open up the kitchen floor to exert vertical pressure onto the Arsenal bomb site where the Pulse was sat. And now they have the Sledge, Jackal secondary shotgun and the Zephyr to do all that. So even if one of them dies, there's still the backup. And that's really good adaptation to see here from Lasers. Quackerbox yet again getting an early drone into Dirt Tunnel so they're able to take that control as Nova are not contesting it. And if there's a hole in the defense for Nova, we could see an aggressive peek through the dirt door and kill this Pulse while he's unaware on his scanner.
The unaware Pulse is, it's a power position, and it's also a position of vulnerability, isn't it? Because you're not able to shoot, but you can give us so much information, and that swap time, it's not as good as it used to be, Kenny. If you played Year 1, you know exactly what I'm talking about with that shotgun. But right now, the Lasers, they forgot that Dirt Control very early on. They put Quackerbox down there again. Last round, he was on that Twitch and was pushing down, but the big thing for me is the sledges there. I think that comes down to that misallocation of resources again, because you're getting information, you're getting everything you can need to know about the site, and they have that information you see right there on that player on the rappel. I believe it's Reverie. And your Sledge can be doing vertical play. You can be doing so much more. You're now leaving it to your Jackal to do that work. They have to get inside just as a Sledge would, but a Honk Goose is going to be taken away. The Sophia removed off the board. And suddenly, we talked about this before, as soon as that self-destruction is taken away, it makes life a lot harder. Unstable's going to make sure that that happens with one kill, goes to the C4 for another, but won't be able to land it. 50 seconds, and this round's about to explode.
Meanwhile, that was all occurring. Quackerbox trades about equal HP with Panther in the back armory. The leg spotted there by Darthex onto Zay. So that is the first kill in this round for Lasers. And that could open up an avenue for the Thermite to push into the church bomb site. And inside of Dirt Tunnel, it is the Sledge who, yes, he has very low HP. But he knows the spot of the Rook. The Rook is stuck in the K9 position by the AKs. His drone work from Quackerbox, the pre-fire not going to net as Panther's quicker to the draw there. And it's all up to Reverie, dropping the blue hatch. Full blind and Toxic with the easiest kill of this match, I'm sure. It's another defense on the basement for Nova.
Yeah, and I feel yet again we're seeing them stall out in the big areas. We're seeing Dirt. That was an area where you stall out quite heavily. As soon as that kill goes out, that secondary shotgun that they were relying on for that soft breach is taken away. And you talked about how, well, the Sledge, they knew exactly where the Rook was, but it went both ways. Rook knew exactly where they were. Kill came through, and Nova picked up a third round. They're going to be heading to CCTV cache, and the Lion scan is going to come through. But it might not be a solid pick. I'm going to be honest, I'm not really sure where this Lion's coming from. I feel like just having somebody to put that pressure down below at the right time. Even if you have to wait a little bit longer to get that, to start trying to get that breach open, sure, that's fine. Do it. But you're bringing a Lion, and I'm going to actually do a little bit of theory crafting, Kenny, because why not? What have we got to lose realistically? Honk Goose, right now, if you think about the Lasers, they're looking for that bottom floor control. Honk Goose's cam is prepped for it, so it's kind of hinting towards it. They're looking to get the information on where these players are. When they want to get below, they're going to put that Lion scan there. Because if that Bandit doesn't move, and they're playing right on that breach, well, they're going to be an easy kill from that soft breach hole. And vice versa. If they move, then you know exactly where they are. You know they're not tricking. You can get the breach open. It's a risky play. It relies especially on this Lion being alive. But I feel like there's opportunities at least.
Question. Yeah. Does Bandit get detected while he's in the active motion of tricking?
I don't think when you're in the animation. No, when you're in the animation, you don't get tricked because I believe I placed something down earlier today when a Lion scan was taking place. I was reinforcing, and I was perfectly fine. But the big thing is Bandit can try and trick it, but then as soon as we see a player come down below with soft breach, the big thing is there isn't any.
Yeah, but it looks like Lasers are setting themselves up for a cache side take. They've got Darthex, the main hard breacher on the ace, positioned on this hot tub balcony. And these walls are not reinforced, so we'll have to call the lack of soft breach over, so he's actually going to have to use one of those Selma charges. However, Parallax, he is stuck inside a bathroom. He has no reinforcements to help him, so he is being wallbanged from the hot tub balcony, and Air Jab's going to keep him held in place, and he is, going to hit a nasty wallbang onto the head of Darthex. Honk Goose elsewhere trades 1 for 1, so the man count is even, but the Lasers still know of the presence of this Valkyrie inside of the bathroom stall. It's going to be another player. That's going to be Reverie coming around the corner with the pre-fires. And finally, Parallax is down for the count. But at what cost? You've lost your main hard breacher of the ace. Reverie, however, still has those X-Kairos in pocket to be able to open up the cache to construction wall if need be. She is actually going to be using her X-Kairos to obviously open up an avenue to regain the diffuser, which Darthex lost on the hot tub balcony.
Kenny, I'm going to be honest, while we see Reverie really struggle because that was botched. That didn't work. You can't put another Hibana pellet on there because of the way that it's set, because it's too small for a pellet. you're going to have to go the long way around, or realistically focus on frags. But we're vibing off each other really well, because I've took your point and given it to you, and you've done exactly the same. Right now, we're looking at IVC Lasers. They've got rid of that Valkyrie at the cost of 2 players and a lot of time. Right now, they need to worry about that breach, but they've got nothing to really show for other than 1 or 2 kills, maybe. An air jab will be used, bringing the total of air jabs on the field down to 3, so you don't have to worry about a flank. But right now, it's 30 seconds. It's not the flanks you need to worry about, it's the front. Lasers, they're going to have to push through. These smoke canisters are still one in pocket, and that's probably going to go out very, very soon from Panther. Quackerbox, you need to start applying some pressure, as does Reverie and Mr. 50 Cal. Right now, they're holding angles. They don't mind if you don't push. They're not going to get aggressive. They know that to win, they play it safe for another 10 seconds. Now you're going to have to get aggressive. Reverie, she's going to be able to start that, but Toxic is going to find 1 kill, make that 2. Unstable will shut things down with a kill onto Mr. 50 Cal. And Nova, they played it perfectly. Laser, it's just stalling down completely. They didn't know what to do as soon as they dealt with that Valkyrie, because they didn't have Diffuser. They didn't have Soft Breach. They didn't have a lot of the tools that you need at that late stage in the round. And thus, round 6, we're looking at Lasers with a 3-round deficit. This is Gym Bedroom, though. This is what they wanted last time. They can open things up, but I feel like it came down to just catching Nova off guard with the aggression, with these gunfights. Will they get away with it again?
Yeah, I think we obviously saw the lack of Soft Breach hurt them that round. With the soft wall from construction into cash, not being able to open that up really hindered their potential assault onto the bomb site, because we saw they had to funnel through 2 players through that construction to cash door. And who was there? It was the Jaeger on the red stairs, able to clean up shop for Nova that round, because there was only a single avenue into the bomb site available for the Lasers offense. So obviously Honk Goose now off the line onto the Sophia. She brings those 2 impacts, able to open up these soft walls that Lasers can utilize for their attack. Nova, they're yet again bringing this castle, so I'd like to see the adaptation for Lasers to either use a Kali charge, as you referenced, to destroy the castle barricade on the gym door and window, so that Zay cannot bandit trick this breach, because both these castles are the only thing protecting Zay from certain death.
Yeah, and that's why I feel those ADSs should have been by that gym window. However, Nova, they're getting a bit comfortable. They're getting a bit aggressive, and they're trying to go for these spawn peaks. It's not going to work. It's not going to find a kill, but it's pressure. It's making Lasers feel uncomfortable and not ready. Now, looking at this breach yet again, I don't think we're going to see any air jabs because ADSs, because there isn't a single Jaeger on the board. They've opted for the Warden. I think they look at that execute, they saw how many smokes were on the board, and simply said, screw it, I'm not even going to bother with it. Zay is going to attempt to get a bandit trick down, is only going to succeed with 1, but that little bit of a sightline will be made. Although that breach is not going to be made properly, it's going to require another Selma, but Dartex has got to find a kill first. The C4 goes through, but doesn't land that blow, and they're just going to pull back. Kali Charge has to go through, but they're expecting more tricking. Zay's just going to rotate back to side. A minute wasted, a lot of utility gone for the attackers, and they're not even going to make that rotate. They're going to mainly have this sight line, but the drops come through from Honk Goose. Panther's able to find a kill onto Reverie on that extended drone, but Honk Goose is there for the refrag, catching them off guard, finds a second. Oh my lord, pushing through, and right now, you're only seeing them being able to find a kill onto Dartex now at this point. Toxic will be felled for getting too aggressive and finding a kill. Lasers, they have the opportunity to stall out, but the question is, will they? Or will Honk Goose and Quackerbox get in there and seize the initiative? It's going to be Honk Goose, unable to find a kill onto Unstable. No attempt at a refrag is going to leave this at a 2 versus 2 at that 1 minute 13 mark. 50 cal being taken away, suddenly Quackerbox stuck in Logi. It's not looking likely to win this final round of attack. Possible, yes. Likely, maybe not. As you're stuck in this position, the 2 defenders, well, they're just playing a part at the moment. They know exactly what they need to do. Unstable, holding that diffuser. Parallax knows a push has got to come through. You have 49 seconds. What are you going to do, Quackerbox? And honestly, Kenny, I'm going to be honest, I think holding this angle may actually be the play. I think Lasers might have realized this round is a bit lost. But that's not going to be what Quack has decided. One smoke canister will go down, but the Warden's still on the board, and will be able to pick up that final kill.
The two MPXs in the end game doing the work for the Nova defense. The 1.5 on the Warden and the Hollow on the Valkyrie is all we need. And that's a clutch round there from Nova. We saw Lasers with the most explosive round so far. They got that breach open finally, and that was something that they didn't manage to do on their last offense onto Jim. They got the breach open, then they just exploded onto site. The ace jumping in Jim window, there was the drop into log from Honk Goose netting himself 2 kills, and then it was just a flurry on the scoreboard from there on in. And it was Nova who came out on top, and that puts them 5 rounds up just to Lasers 1. So it's a long way back now for Lasers, but they, with the side switch, move on to defense. And the favoured side typically on Clubhouse. So the question is, will they be able to bring it back, McCready? They're going to start on CCTV. They're bringing a very solid lineup to do so.
Yeah, if there's going to be a place where they can bring it back, it's going to be here. But the big thing that we did talk about is that Maverick is still on the board. It's not being brought. The Cali is being opted for as well. And right now it does look like Dartex has got a skin on it. And that's a bit of a pain because, well, you know what the rules say, Kenny. It's pretty much either going to be a team kill or a forfeit round. And I think Lasers, they're going to have to opt that team kill. Because, take a look at that score. If they opt to lose the round, well, Nova, they put themselves onto match point. And, yeah, that's going to be the TK coming out from Honk Goose, able to drop another kill. And we'll pick up their 6. Which is also the amount Dartex has. If we can bring up that scoreboard very quickly yet again, I want to point out something that I noticed at the halfway mark on Observer Shownet. Toxic has got 100% headshot accuracy with 8 kills.
My man, he's had his G Fuel today. What an absolute gunner. 100% headshot with 8 kills. That is seriously impressive. I can't undermine that. So good work so far from Nova, and they are shaping themselves up for this construction take like Nova did themselves. They're able to open up this construction single with the X-Kairos pellets and the drone work coming out from all 4 members on the roof, making sure that the coast into construction and master is clear. But I saw the silhouette lurking of Reverie. She is around the main stairs looking for a late flank, and of course there's no Nomad on the board for Nova's offense, so that main stairs is going to be impeded if Reverie so chooses to rotate up the stairs.
A big thing I need to point out right now is that IVC Lasers, they are playing with that player deficit. And right now for Nova, you play together. You play in that mindset of, we have an advantage, let's keep it. Let's not waste it. Everything we do, we play together. If we're going to lose a player, we better find a refrag. Whereas Nova, Lasers, they're in a very difficult position saying, okay, well, we need to find something. And that can make life quite difficult. Now, the Cali is going to be using that construction area, able to bring that Arbiter around and make a very good entry onto site. This breach going to be used to shut down everything, and that's what Mr. 50 Cal is going to be able to do. Toxic, well, your 100% headshot hit rate is still there, but it's not going to be improved at all. The Bandit trick will be successful as well. A huge rotate coming around from Mr. 50 Cal as Quackerbox is able to find another kill. Nova, they seem to be stalling out themselves as Zay's going to be knocked down. Parallax as well. The flank from Reverie. This is what you said to look out for. And there, well, Nova didn't, simply put. Unstable's able to find a kill with the SMG, but you're already in a losing battle. You've got to go for the revives, but the utility, it needs to be used fast. Why? 30 seconds on the clock and very, very low HP of Parallax. Misstep. Might be a very difficult position to be in. The rotate will come around and Unstable will go for that second revive. But look at the HP. It barely amounts to 1 on the side of Nova. Unstable will find a kill. Bring us to a 2 versus 3. Time ticking down. The push has got to come through. And Quackerbox is able to find a frag.
The jump in the CCTV window is going to be the end of Parallax and the push into sight. The be-all and end-all of the round for Nova's first attack, and a pretty solid defense from the Lasers. we said, watch out for the flank of Reverie, and she put destruction into the camp of Nova. 2 downs and almost the kill, and the round secured onto the Kali. But the work had been done from Reverie, and the rest of her teammates cleaned it up, and that's really good start on the defense from Lasers. They needed that initial defensive victory, because otherwise it would have been 6-1 on the round count to Nova, and there's a whole long way back from 6-1. But now Lasers, they can start to snowball their defenses. They get this round, and all of a sudden they're 2 rounds within the reach of Nova, and things are looking promising, especially being able to bring out this kind of lineup. We've got the Kapkan 6th pick too, and Nova, they're not going to be expecting that Kapkan. He's an off-meta pick, and those, if you're not looking out for those EEDs, they're going to do a whole chunk of damage.
Yeah, these EEDs of the Kapkan, they offer so much potential. A lot of people scoff at it, and I think my favorite example of this was Whippet, a caster we both know. He was casting a game with me on Clubhouse, actually, and was kind of laughing about a Kapkan pick, and that's when we saw it get a kill. That's not the main job of these Kapkan traps. Now, most importantly, the job of them is to catch people off guard. If people are running around trying to take gunfights and they've got one extra thing to look at and to look for and to deal with, that might be exactly the one thing you need to find that kill. Another big opportunity that it gives you is, well, these traps, Kenny, they're very difficult to avoid without any sound. You've got to know that they are there, and you've got to sneak underneath it. And if they're placed at fort level, well, there's just no way around it. They give away that information and do that damage, and you don't need to be there to do it. That breaching charge is going to get taken away, and Toxic will feel quite a bit of pressure from the pulse, which is exactly what happened from the defense before. The utility on that wall hatch will start to open up, and Nova, well, they're wanting to close things out. If they win this round, match point, and potentially game 1 is in their pocket. But if IVC Lasers, they keep on clinging, and they're closing that gap. Like you said, Mr. 50 Cal is going to want to be the first one to start this off. The Valcam giving the information saying, pre-aim this angle. And there we go. Toxic's going to get knocked down. The Z ping should come through. The yellow ping. And there, that's exactly it. Mr. 50 Cal finds the kill. The Ash, the stop breach, that's taken away. Zayd's going to have to fulfill that role. And Nova, simply put, Kenny, they're going to have to spread themselves a little bit more thin.
Yeah, and especially with Reverie yet again lurking on a flank. She is spotted out by the flank hold on main door, and that's going to prompt her just to fall back down the oil pit and return to site, joining her teammate of the Legion, Dartex, in blue. This time, not Team Kildee's able to play a part in the round, and those goo mines are obviously going to get more effective as time dwindles on. He's going to be able to have more areas covered by those goo mines, and like the Kapkan traps, there has to be an audio cue of when someone steps on it. And the audio cue rings through of the cell phone of Mr. 50 Cow as the Pulse yet again getting a C4 kill. And this time it's the Lasers who benefit from it. They move 2 men up in the round, and with 50 seconds left, Nova's offense need to start actually maneuvering towards that bomb site. Unstable, carrying the diffuser, is going to wiggle his way down the main stairs. A few pre-fire shots come from the Valkyrie on the double door from Church. Potentially a Valcam giving away this intel, and more shots rain out. The bullet holes have been unstable, but not quite near enough onto the head of the Pulse. Parallax is going to get an entry frag onto the Moto bomb site, but that aforementioned punch hole finds Mr. 50 Cow another kill, and yes, the breach has been opened. One of those Kapkan traps detonates, and into a crossfire steps the Hibana. Lasers get their second round on the board, and we move into round 9 with the teams coming ever so closer.
And, well, there's a perfect example of the Kapkan chaps giving the information. Well, a Kapkan chap, you get Kenny? I'm going to rename it. It's a dinner bell at this point. Looking at that huge opening kill right there, that's what I was talking about. That's when it started to fall apart for Nova. Because, simply put, they have to start spreading themselves thin. They don't have that player to put on the main stairs. They've got to move Sledge around. And then the main stairs player had to go in unprotected. That's why Thermite was putting that charge on the wall, and it was just falling apart. Typically, when I look at an attack on bottom floor, Kenny, I think my golden rule is get 2 kills before you start thinking about an execute. 3 kills from vertical is when you can ideally start thinking. 2's got to be the minimum. But we sort of go the other way, thanks to Lasers playing a very aggressive defense. These Kapkan traps doing a lot of work for them as well. And I think Nova kind of tunnel vision down on a couple of these hatches. They didn't really bother about Moto. That gave Reverie a lot of areas to move with. And in doing so, the Lasers, they never felt as much pressure as they needed to stay in the positions where Nova were able to win a round, essentially.
Yeah, completely.
Please tell me if I'm wrong.
No, I completely agree. That was my
thank you.
that was my linkage. You're able to mask the analysis section like relevant. You're an amazing hybrid.
You're very kind. Yeah.
Dartex.
I love that's stinky. That's simply put, that's stinky. I'll let you take that one.
I thought the Dartex was not gonna actually castle the window in time before the spawn, but luckily, even if he didn't know Nova attackers spawn on the master bedroom balcony side, the main gate, that's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
To catch him off guard. But yet again, we're going to be seeing a bandit trick come out protected by a castle barricade. And how have Nova decided to deal with it? They're bringing along the Maverick. So he's going to be able to make a lovely little tiny hole and chuck a nade over. That's going to prompt the bandit to move away because there's no ADSs protecting it. And there is Toxic getting the initial kill onto the Jaeger, and the nade actually gets the frag onto the bandit.
Oh, right, I understand. That ADS of the drone hole only covered the drone hole. It didn't have the area of effect to get that Maverick hole. That's very nice, actually. Ooh. But the big issue is Parallax on that construction acting as a sort of wedge between the 2 extensions of site. That cache area, you're trying to rotate back. No. Parallax is there to cut a hole in it. That's why Logi is so important. Blue on the bottom floor is just as important. And while that breach is open for Nova, and they're able to move into that Jacuzzi Ball, they've still got a lot of work to do. They've got to take control of that main lobby area, and they've got to take control of bathroom. That's going to be quite easy with the Blackbeard on the side of the attack. With the shield, peeks the window, pushes in. One Ying will be taken away. The Blackbeard takes some damage, but Panther has to pull back. But they get the kill. Quackerboy on the retreat wasn't enough. Huge effort coming out from Nova at that point, and they will on Gym Bedroom, the only site, might I add, that we've seen IVC Lasers win on attack as well. Nova are able to push themselves onto match point. Now, this is something I want to talk about again. Immediately, Dartex is saying, well, I can't do anything about this. I don't have a C4 to throw through. The only thing that really could have saved 50 cal in that position. So, you reinforce off. But suddenly you're feeling like a sardine. That Jacuzzi Wall has become a great entryway onto site, and I talked about construction being the wedge for the attackers to cut the defenders in half. That's exactly what that does as well. Because this way they're forced, if they're in Logi, to go through construction. If you've got a player in the window, you're able to find a kill. You're able to find a free kill. You're denying the freedom of movement defenders need to successfully defend a site. And that's why I think Gym Bedroom is easily the tertiary site out of the 3. Speaking of tertiary sites, no more. We're going to return to CCTV.
Yeah, it's really just personal team preference of which out of Church Arsenal and CCTV cache is the primary bomb site. Because both sites are really viable. They have a completely different way of holding them. Obviously, the garage CCTV wall completely contradicts the entirety of the basement because the basement is all tucked in. There's no exterior way into the site. You have to enter the building either through dirt tunnel, kitchen hall, bar, or blue to be able to actually assault the bomb site. But CCTV cache, you have that external reinforced wall, the double panel onto the CCTV platform. So opening up that breach completely cuts off the rotate from garage back into the site and the rotate from cache actually into the CCTV bomb site. And because there's denial on the wall, Maverick, he's going to just make quick work of it. Yet again, the nade tripped through the hole, but there is going to be a C4. It just overshoots its mark, but so does the nade. So 2 bits of utility traded. Maverick misses the nade, and he's going to overshoot the second one. That is disastrous here for Nova's attack, because now Zay, he's going to have to prone and make a hole to find the bandit wires, and Panther, his best shining impression, as soon as that hole opens up, peekaboo, there's Blackbeard.
God, don't make me think about The Shining. But yes, Hongoose on the rafters is able to find a kill, takes away Zay. But while the damage is simply done, the bandit is dead, and there's enough utility taken away of the Maverick before they died, so that wall, it's going to be opened up. Nova will have an entry out to site now. They've got to consider where that secondary attack position is going to come from. Are they going to take control of rafters and lounge and maybe push up red stairs, or are they going to go to construction? A minute 30 on the clock, it could go either way, but I'm going to hedge bets on Garage because they're droning it out, and Stables looking to get the information, but Hongoose hasn't decided to leave just yet. Holding this position right next to Harry Potter, has that mute jammer. Yes, you'll be droned out and you'll be spotted if they come down below. That's not what's happening, Kenny. We're going to see the drone going above. Parallax, over in that secret area in storage, is going to be of no help. Hongoose able to find a second kill. Really stepping up in a big way for the lasers. But how long can it last is my big question. Right now, the defenders, they just need to sit pretty. Hongoose just got the diffuser, Kenny.
Yeah, diffuser down in Garage, and Reveries made a very rotate into the middle of the CCTV bomb site as the breach was only opened up on the left-hand side. Hongoose still persisting in lower Garage, and with two attackers rotating to that Garage door, he's going to have a tall order, especially against a Blackbeard. But the Blackbeard aims up high, but Hongoose is down low, and that's another headshot with the MP5 and a quad on the round. He has one more to find for the ace, and the ace is on the site breach. It's up to Hongoose. He has his team to collect the kills, but Hongoose is going to be aiming for that frag. He won't be able to find it though. Dartex collects the headshot, and lasers with 3 successive rounds. They complete their site rotation. The cycle of bomb sites comes back to the start. And McCready, we now only have 2 rounds separating them.
Yes, and do you want to know what I like to call a situation like this, Kenny?
What?
A game. We've got a game on our hands, Kenny. And not just any game. Rainbow Six Siege. Heading down to the bottom floor, this Kapkan's going to make a reappearance. It's not going to be the 6th pick because, well, Nova, they're going to expect it. Because they've already seen it. It's already had a really huge impact. They're going to say, well, the lasers, you still have an opportunity for another 6th pick that you can bring. So why not? Realistically, I'm looking at them to be able to pick up this round, but if we look at round history from both sides, actually, well, Nova is set to win this the next time we go to Gym Bedroom. So, in my opinion, lasers, there's a lot of things they need to step up in the next round. Obviously, you need to win this one, but this isn't the kind of end game position that we're in. That's going to be next round if lasers are able to win it out. Nova, if they want to win this, I'd say, yeah, the Buck, it's a great opportunity to bring. You don't have that sledge, and you don't have an Ash now. You have IQ ready to deal with utility and definitely counter this pulse. But the Buck has a little bit more range behind it.
It's one of my favorite interactions between operators, the IQ and the Pulse, because they can both see each other, but the IQ, more importantly, can shoot back, whereas the Pulse cannot. And obviously, the Pulse doesn't know that it's an IQ heartbeat he's detecting. He just thinks it's any old operator. And then, bang, he gets headshot through the floor because Toxic, with the scanner out, can perfectly pinpoint the position of the Pulse and capitalize on it in real time. Nova, they're not looking to assault towards the kitchen area, which we've seen all the time. They might catch Reverie off guard here on red stairs, but she's going to make that rotate up as the drone work now starts to commence for Nova. They're looking for a Garage side blue start to their attack onto the basement. This is something we haven't seen, so how are lasers going to react?
I'm not sure. I'm excited to find out how, because this blue position, it's something I hinted at before. It's so important. That's why Dartex is down there with these goo mines. That's why there's ADSs committed. That fight you're talking about is happening right now. We're going to see Mr. 50 Cal take some damage, but this blue, it's what we need to discuss. You're looking at that blue position, and it holds the key to rotating to both sides. If you get that control as an attacker, the defenders, they can't go there. They can't start applying pressure and start overwhelming and just flooding their way onto a site. if you have blue as a defender, you're shutting down a key opportunity. You can keep that rotation. You can keep the pressure. I mean, you're going to see a little bit of that pressure that we talked about in Kitchen. The drone work, it's been lacking, and I think you know why. Because they already know about Reverie. Say is going to be able to find that kill. I think they did know, actually. They pushed out from the top, forced Reverie to come down below. The Maverick was waiting. But they're taking a lot of time to clear it out. Toxic still going to be trying to deal with the Pulse. That can be huge. It can be great if you get it, but at this point, as time ticks down, that breach is already open. You don't need to worry so much. Right now, obviously lasers. They just need to bunker in. The blue push is coming. Dartex still in that position. Is going to have to deal with it, but it's going to be very, very possible. The Q-Mine will alert that Parallax is going to be coming down. Has to pull back and waste time. Fear of a swing is going to put them in that position. And then the barbed wire. Well, that's just a little bit of a dinner bell. But it's Zay who's going to be eating up with that kill. Opening up blue control. But Honkus is there. Wants a little bit of their own. Toxic finding Mr. 50 cal. The pulse IQ will finally be over. But not before Honkus finds the bot. Parallax has to push through as Honk finds a third. Wanting a fourth. Wants to pull a Dartex impression. But isn't going to be able to find it. The push of Parallax will come through, catches Honkus, lacking in the purest sense. And a 1 versus 1 Quackerbox has that 1.5 times sight, but Parallax has control of sight. Needs to pull out that Q-Mine very quickly and get on the plan. Otherwise, well, Kenny, it's all over. Quacker springs into action.
Yeah, he's going to sprint as the clock hits 000. Pulls off the plant is Thermite as he completes it. Shots rain between the two of them, but it's Thermite that comes off worse than Quackerbox. He pushes for the frag and collects the frag, and now can successfully, with enough time to defuse, lasers stay in Clubhouse with a 1 versus 1 post-plant clutch from the Kapkan. It's not done yet. They still have one more round to send us into overtime to decide who will be the victor of map 1 in our best of 5 grand final. And so far, there's not much to separate the two teams.
And I feel like I have something to add to that. Most importantly, because, well, look at the round history. Every single round that's been won is Gym Bedroom at the moment. On the attacking side, at least. That goes for lasers and for Nova. The big thing that I really need to point out, right now we're looking at Honku's huge effort, back-to-back 4Ks, I do believe. And right now, Kenny, I think the most important thing is, with a name like Honkus, every time it comes up that Honk gets a kill, I want to hear a little clown.
I can't do it. My best friend does the best clown honk with noise I've ever heard. It is like a soundboard. It is incredible, and it makes me laugh every time he does it. But I unfortunately can't go and grab him right now, so I'm not gonna try and embarrass myself and put distaste to his name by attempting it, because as soon as I heard him do it the first time, I knew I could never even attempt it because it wouldn't be as good.
I'm gonna guess that it is Swag.
No.
No? Who is it?
Nope.
Like, you gotta tell me who it is.
No, it's my IRL best friend.
Oh, okay, right. I thought it was one of your teammates. However, that's not important. Teammates that are very important right now are the Lasers and Nova, because, well, everything here to win. Nova, when you look at the track record, the favorites going into this round specifically, because every attacking side has just been able to capitalize in a huge way on these windows. Panther has been really stepping up with this Blackbeard, a very huge impact player. Now, we talk about Unstable and Toxic having an incredible hit shot rating at the moment, but Panther's really stepped up to be this big pain in the backside for the lasers. And right now, Zay is going to try and be that pain that we saw last time on this side. These frag grenades, you like to think that there's going to be an ADS a little bit more situated towards the bandit. Yes, there is, and the frag grenade will go through, but, well, Mr. 50 cal has played it safe and realized, back up, the opportunity is now. Able to find it, predicts the right wall, and suddenly that Maverick is needed for another frag grenade. But Mr. 50 cal still has another bandit charge in pocket.
A good positioning here from Mr. 50 Cal. He's taking shelter inside of bathroom, so that nade potentially that comes out from the Maverick isn't going to kill him off this time. He's just going to bunker down inside of bathroom and then rotate to the wall when he hears the audio cue of the thermite charge going out. The Maverick gets to work to the bottom of the wall, but he's going to have to be careful because last time he attempted this, he was killed while doing so. The thermite going to go for the right-hand wall in the bandit's position. Was the exothermic placed? No, he still has one left. So a good bait there. Oh, fantastic work from Nova. The bait from the thermite to bait the bandit to the wall. The flashbang to come out to blind him. And the frag grenade to finish off the kill. Really good coordination coming out from Nova to finally get the breach open.
Absolutely cracking stuff. Panther, though, that impact player that I talked about is going to jump in and be caught lacking. Honkus to capitalize with a kill. Now we've looked at one kill on the side of lasers onto lasers, and well, they have paid the price dearly. Nova have lost 2 players. They'll be able to even that out, finding Reverie on that roam. Zay's gonna be down and revived. Dartex looking to finish things off. Well, now you have to play it a bit safer, but well, the big thing is gonna be Honku still alive, a huge driving force for the team. They want to find a 3rd kill again. Can we have 3 quad kills? Well, if Parallax is about to not win this gunfight, maybe. The Candela will go through and the pre-fire follows. Time will tick down and suddenly Parallax, being fed a lot of information by the team, will have a lot of pressure on, and Honkus is going to make sure they're not able to live up to it. The defenders will win Gym Bedroom for the first time in this matchup.
McCready, Honkus is now on 19 kills. He has had a lot for breakfast, that's for sure.
Okay, right.
He's fueled himself for the day.
I need to stop you there then, and I need to ask you right now, what's the highest kill count you've seen? Personally, 26 and 8, and that was from one of the NACL observers, Max D himself, in a league that myself and our wonderful observer Science also work in. Look at that, KD. Over time, it's possible to break it, and if we see 2 more 4Ks at least, well, then they might actually be able to.
Yeah, and with defense being heavily favored so far in this matchup, you have to say lasers sit in the driving seat because they don't need to go to Gym Bedroom. They have a maximum number of defensive rounds of 2, which they can go to CCTV as we see here, and then if we need round 15, down to Church and Arsenal. So there's no potential Gym Bedroom site that Nova can attack, so that's worrying for them because they need to win at least 1 attack onto a bomb site they have yet to be successful onto. The question is, can they shut down Honkus? Because he has been firing on all cylinders these past few rounds. And if they do shut down Honkus, maybe send 2-3 people in to kill him, at least you get the trade. But you shut down the man who is carrying lasers through into this overtime. And then you may be able to secure this victory on map 1, let's not forget.
Yeah, honestly, we're looking at this. This is a best of 5, and it's the lasers pick. So you should expect them to be winning this out. But Nova have given such a strong performance that when we go into their defense round, they have a lot to offer and a lot to bring to the table. The question is, though, they went out there first attacking. If they can do that, I can see them picking up this first map. But if not, well, that double defense is just going to play in a horrible way. Zay, they've realized how important Zay is with these frag grenades, I think, Kenny. And they're going to just stack ADSs. It will be burned, it will be taken down, but the Ace Heart Breach is going to come through. 50 cal, you're only going to be able to get one of those walls. Don't even bother with the other one to just minimize the damage that's going onto that wall. 2 minutes on the clock, and, well, just playing it back, staying alive. Not having a C4 in pocket, but that barbed wire has a lot of other uses that go beyond just killing, because, well, a good barbed wire, it can lead to a player like Reverie being able to catch a huge flank again.
Yeah, Reverie has been lurking very well. Yes, she only has 5 kills, but remember, way back, she got 2 downs on a flank, and she's going to be looking for another one onto the Zofia, who, with the audio cue of the M7 shooting up through stock, Reverie is going to be aware. Oh, but lose the gunfight. Oh my goodness, what a shot from Unstable, and a second 2 headshots with the AR on Zofia, and that puts Nova in the driving seat for this round.
Yes, Hongoose. Well, we've seen it before. We'll have to see it again. A huge effort required. And the MP5 on this Raptors is going to have to be the gun to do it. Panther, though, is going to say no. The lasers, they're starting to slip. Nova, yet to lose a player, are going to start pushing through. The pre-fire of Zay will be able to find a kill. It's all down to 50 cal. And that's it. Zay shuts it down. Nova, 1 round away from closing it down. And Kenny, the most important part, that round's going to be on defense. This is a real opportunity for a huge upset from Nova to take the lasers map in map 1. You're the guy who has to deal with teams in these situations where things might not be going their way. What can that do to a mental state?
Oh man, it can really turn the tables when sometimes it's even worse when you're on a winning streak and then it's just shut down and you're put back onto the precipice of losing the match. That could be way worse for your mental than just losing successive rounds in a row, because all the hype that has happened inside the comms, winning loads of rounds in a row, suddenly you're then brought back down to earth, and that sinking feeling of, oh, we are back on match point, and being the team that are always trying to just claw back at your opponents, that's chalking really for your mental game. But we see this quite a lot in Siege, where there is one side heavily favoured in regulation, such as the defensive emphasis we've seen here, only 2 attacking wins inside the first 12 rounds, and then all of a sudden, all overtime rounds are attacking victories. It is a very common occurrence in Siege. So now it's on lasers to attack onto the basement, and Nova, they are bringing this intel trio of the Pulse, the Valkyrie and the Legion yet again, and Panther with that 2x on the Rook is going to be able to take those long range engagements down onto main stairs and into dirt from back Arsenal around the AK's area. So lasers, yes, they're bringing this sledge on Hongoose to be able to deny the Pulse the ability to play in back Arsenal. But the question is, they need to do it without being C4'd.
Kenny, well, this game, it has the potential to start exactly where it end exactly where it started. Down on this bottom floor, the Pulse, the same lineup actually, of the Pulse, Valkyrie, Legion, Jaeger and Rook. And well, we saw exactly what happened that last time. The Rook was able to use that 2x, it shut down that main corridor, and it absolutely ruined the lasers' momentum. Their ability to shut down and get this site control. Well, it shut down something. Unfortunately, it was them. Referee is going to be looking to get the stock hatch open, and doing so will give themselves an opportunity, a little bit of a backup into pushing onto site, but well, they're going to need it right now. Well, that's yet to be determined. The room clear onto the Jaeger still going to take place. That drone not going to be taken away. Zay, you're able to shoot it, but, well, the hard work is done. They know player on main stairs, that could be Dartex, just watching it, and then somebody pushing from another side. Right now, it looks like they're actually going to let Zay just get away with whatever the goddamn hell he wants. And the droning is going to come through. They're playing it very, very safe, very careful. But right now, we're looking at things that maybe shouldn't be happening at the halfway mark. Rumors shouldn't be kept alive.
Yeah, if Zay persists, there's going to be anxiety in Laser's attack. They always have to worry about their flank and who's coming up behind them. It could be the Jaeger. It could be that ever terrifying sound of the 416 for the attackers. Hongoose is going to make his advances down blue stairs. He's going to pepper a few shots towards the Legion, but come off worse off, sorry. The Goon Mine doing a lot of tick damage to him along with the T5 SMG. But lasers, they finally get the kitchen hatch off. That exothermic, along with the Hibana, has made light work of all 3 of these hatches. Zay, he's made his way back down to the basement, and it looks like the Nomad is wary of the Jaeger's position on lower main stairs. They will exchange shots, but nothing fatally landing. The clock ticking down for Laser's attack, and the drop in Moto, and 2 players are in short. Dartex to get 2 freebies. Zay! Oh, and he does! And it's in a 5 versus 2 as the kill feed lights up blue and all up to Unstable on the Pulse. Inside side of Church. He finds one onto Hongoose, who can't land his 20th kill, but the rest of Lasers could clean this up as the bomb going down. 26 bullets in the UMP, not enough to land multiple engagements. And Lasers stay in it. We're staying in Clubhouse and on this German map for all 15 rounds. McCready, what did we say?
What are you doing?
What
Look at this! The drop, Parallax at least hears it and turns around, but he's just doing nothing. Nova, everything was there for you. What are you doing? Right, okay, so taking a moment to calm things down and put Lasers back on the defense. I'm gonna try and talk a little bit more about that. Realistically, the hatch was prepared earlier, like we saw with the stock hatch, because you don't have to worry about impact tricks, at least, Kenny. And the big thing then is you have that opportunity for the late round. So that's exactly what Lasers realized. It wasn't going to be a main stairs kitchen drop. They were prepared for that. Nova, they were ready. Evidently, maybe too ready. Lasers, they decided, right, let's get aggressive. Let's drop down Moto, find a couple of kills, and push in. Take control, catch them off guard. That's exactly what happened, shooting 2 defenders in the back. Suddenly the call comes through, but they've already lost players. It's all down to Unstable with that Pulse S pistol. Trying to do something. Just wasn't able to get it. Able to find a couple of kills, granted, but at that position of 1 versus 5, it wasn't going to happen. And while the Lasers, they are going to be going to spawn for the defense. CCTV, it didn't work out. We saw a very confident, very well-oiled and refined Nova coming onto the attack. The defense, though, I'm going to have to say, well, maybe it's been a little bit of a while before they've actually got into that mindset, because, yikes. This game, though, it's going to finish exactly where it started. That is for certain, on the bottom floor. We're going to go the full 15 rounds possible, Kenny, and, well, it's been a really huge start for a game, and I'm very excited for the next one.
Yeah, we've got to finish off Clubhouse, however. Nova overhauling their operator lineup, bringing 4 operators with hard breach availability. The Capitao obviously bringing the hard breach charge gadget, secondary gadget, whatever its official name is. But that thing will be able to open up an extra hatch that the Hibana may not be able to. And they make quick work of the Pulse. That's big for the round. The Pulse not being a threat to Nova's attack down low beneath the kitchen soft floor means that Nova can tread fairly safely. But Reverie, her Valkyrie cam's already set out. She has the availability of, obviously, the Z pings to come out from those Valk cams to net another C4, but she's not in a position to do so. She's on a long roam, and she's going to spot out the Capitao inside of CCTV, but actually net the headshot onto the Maverick, who peeks secondary after the Capitao. The trade comes in from Panther, so that's good work from Nova, able to get that trade and keep the man advantage in their favor. And with kitchen hatch open, dirt tunnel open, and we're just about to see blue hatch being opened by the Thermite, and Panther getting another kill. Nova now in the heavy driver's seat to take map 1.
Yes, and, well, a huge frag coming out from Reverie, but, well, Nova, they just have that player in the time advantage. Hongoose gonna pick up their 20th kill at this point onto dirt, and, well, that's staving off one of the avenues of attack. You've got to get Quackerbox back onto site. Remember, you're going to have to find something huge. This 1 kill to even things up, that might just be exactly it. Now, 40 seconds on the clock. The drop is going to have to come from Unstable. Has to deal with this blue position. It's important, like we said. And they weren't able to get control of it, so they need to worry about that still. They're pushing through, but they don't know where. Unstable and Parallax, both of them, they're going to try and get control and get a plant going down. The positioning of Unstable, that's quite smart. You've got to force a wide swing if you want to take that down, and suddenly the post plant, it's looking good. Hongoose, though, well, just says no. Will be refragged, but there's a player in Moto, and that's going to be Lasers. Finding the kill, Quackerbox not getting too excited. Will check for the Claymores, and will get the defuse. Lasers, it took them 15 rounds, but are able to close it down. 15 rounds and almost a reverse sweep, actually.
diffusing next to the jukebox. Have a party, lasers, as you are one step closer to our champions. It's only map 1 though, McCready. We've gone the full distance and there are potentially 4 other maps on the docket. Coastline will be next up, and Hongoose ending the map with 21 kills. Coastline could be a playground for him if he stays on top like he did that map. 5-1 down were the lasers, bringing it back to an 8-7 victory. Just scintillating stuff, and if that one map is anything to go by, the rest of the matchup is gonna be an absolute treat.
Oh yeah, definitely. We've seen some really good mechanical ability coming out from Hongoose. The rest of the team maybe weren't up to the same par, which is why you're going to Coastline. It's going to be quite a nice test of what these teams have to offer when it comes down to their aim ability, because, well, simply put, there's very little strategy behind it. A lot of analysts, really good analysts, hate this map because there's nothing to it. And a lot of really good hype and play-by-play casters like myself, well, we love it because that's what it's all about. It's all about the action, the gun skill, the beautiful highlight moments. And, well, we're just going to have to wait a little bit for them. Hongoose, well, definitely, I'm going to have a nice little bit of an ad read for you. He's had something beautiful. He's had a Lenny and Larry cookie. He's been able to feed their passion for esports with the complete cookie. Something delicious, I imagine. Fully loaded with flavor and up to 16 grams of plant-based proteins and 10 grams of fiber per cookie. It's a tasty way to recharge after intense gaming. It's all complete, including fan faves like chocolate chip and birthday cake. Vegan, non-GMO, without any dairy, eggs, or artificial sweetener. It's healthy, it's good, and holy moly, I want one now, Kenny, now that I've heard about it. But we are going to have to take a break. Yeah, we're going to have to crave it in the break because we're going to take a short break before we do go into Coastline. Grab a snack, grab a drink, but don't go anywhere. As such, Hongoose coming able to push through. 50 cal will be taken down by Unstable, but Dartex is there. Pushing 9 is looking for a kill as well. And Will don't have the cavity in. And right now, Stays just going to try and collect the third, but with a one of their own.
good evening to us, good afternoon to you, and welcome back to the Collegiate Esports National Championship. Our best of 5 grand final is underway, and first map was a long one, but it was the Lasers to come out 8-7 victors on Clubhouse. So McCready moving into map 2, it will be Coastline. Are you expecting this one to go as long and as arduous as the first map?
No, to be honest. I've got to be honest. I'm expecting a closer game, maybe not the overtime, because a lot of those rounds did come down to it just had the Lasers that were able to get those frags, and that was a big thing for me. And because of that, when they ramp up the aggression, when Honk Goose is firing on all cylinders, which was at the end of that last game, that's when we're really going to see the Lasers start to excel. However, I mean, I feel like as long as Nova can actually keep pace, they can get a nice average between the rest of the Lasers and Honk Goose's ability, then we're going to see them start to win it out. Remember, you know, if there's one player doing a lot of the fragging legwork, like Honk Goose, not to say that the rest aren't, but clearly a cut above the rest. If there's one player like Honk Goose, you take them away, suddenly that your job's just been made a lot easier. Whereas if the rest of your team perform very well as an average, that can open up a lot of things for you.
And a good thing, I guess, for both teams, we saw on Clubhouse a lot of struggling to open up certain breaches and reinforced walls. Bandit Trick being one of the MVPs of the defense that game. Some really successful bandit tricking coming out, denying Selmas and exothermic charges from detonating. Coastline, not many reinforcements that both teams need to deal with, so that's good news for them. They're going to be able to be a bit more flexible with their operator lineup, and especially being able to, say, isolate players like Honk Goose that you said. Coastline's a very difficult map to be as freely a roamer on, because that courtyard area from the roof, it cuts off so many rotates. So if you're able to drone out, say, where Honk Goose is situated, you can literally just keep him suffocated in a room and capitalize, kill him.
Yeah,
done. Honk Goose is dead.
I think the best analogy I can give you is think about a balloon, Kenny. You've got a balloon, it's right there, and if you put it in a corner and you start pushing through the only avenues it can, essentially, if you cover a balloon, you start pressing down on it, it's gonna pop. It's going to slip out somewhere, or it's going to pop. Slipping out would be Honk being able to frag out and really just explode, which is something that he can do, granted, but I feel like a half-coordinated team will be able to shut him down very quickly on the roam. He's been playing that mute quite a bit, though. He hasn't been taking those Jaeger rolls. That's been Reverie. So I feel like, you know, it could go either way in my opinion. But that's my opinion, Kenny. I'm looking at this map and I'm thinking, Laser on the defense first, it's got to be a Nomad ban. I don't think there's any other real way that we could look at it. They've been able to get aggressive and win out on gunfights and quite a few opportunities, but Monty's going to be taken away. It's also their ban coming out from the attacking, from Clubhouse as well. I feel like it just might be a bit of distaste towards it, but I feel like Nomad had a lot more implication for the attackers.
Well, it was actually Laser that ran Nomad on every single one of their attacks, so if either team were to ban it out, I think Nova should be the ones banning away the Nomad, and there it is. Bye to our Moroccan operator. I'm fairly sure she's Moroccan. So Laser, they're not going to be able to crutch on those air jabs to hold the flank. We're going to have to be seeing potentially a gridlock pick come out, or the drones be set up in positions that can hold the flank themselves off the vision. Talking about vision, Valkyrie, she's able to throw those black eye cams on the exterior of the map, and Coastline has a lot of exterior and a lot of windows, so no vision on the outside or potentially the inside from those very hard to see cameras. Nova knocks that operator out, and the final one I expect a mirror, but yes, it will be. So the Spanish map, the Spanish operator. I love my countries. Why don't we see what country we're going to be flying to next? Will it be Dub country, McCready? That was the worst joke I've ever made.
I was about to say, I'm gonna let that hang, dude. That was...
Yeah.
It didn't deserve a response. I'm sorry. But honestly, I'm gonna be looking at this, and Valkyrie, she's seen a lot higher ban rate recently, and I think it comes down to the fact that IQ isn't such of a must-pick operator anymore. Think about, right, Echo doesn't have that much of an impact anymore because he used to be invisible. It used to be really hard to spot. You needed to bring an IQ, and as such, you could also deal with a Valkyrie, so it didn't matter if you didn't ban her. But now, he's not invisible, so you could just shoot him, you could just see him. You don't need an IQ to deal with it. You just need somebody not in a gunfight, and it's sorted. Maestro definitely became that go-to operator, and you can't deal with it with an IQ, so they decided to go for a more soft breach lineup. In typical competitive fashion, you're seeing a lot more, instead of Ashe and IQ, it's Ashe Zofia, Yana Zofia, Yana, Ashe, and Zofia sometimes, which is something I'm expecting to see a few times on this map as well, because you don't need as much hard breach. You don't need as much actual strategical ops. You can get away with bringing much more frag-orientated gunfight ability operators. No, I know it's not weird, but that's my point regardless. Valkyrie, now that we don't see IQ being picked as much, gets a lot stronger. So many nooks and crannies on every single map, even a map where you don't expect it to be that easy, like Coastline. Valkyrie is such a huge, huge impact, because if you're not actively looking, you're not going to find it. Nova, though, on the attack, let's focus on the round itself. They're able to spot out this information. They know where the Vigil is, but not for long. Right now, we're going to see Unstable and Panther, as well as they wanted to put the aggression on it. But, well, Reverie, she's going to make the right choice. Just back up. Just play it safe. Make these drones have to deal with you. And most importantly, get past that kitchen window before somebody gets to it.
Parallax picking up the Ying could be a big game changer this round for Nova. Coastline is a very restrictive map, and if those Candelas are placed properly, then they could see the whole of the defense of Laser fully white. The screen of Honk Goose will be back onto camera duty, as he is the first to fall, and no opening kill for him this game. The man with 21 kills on Clubhouse isn't off to a good start on Coastline. He's picked up the Jaeger, but not able to do as much fragging work as he did on the Mute from the previous map. So it's up to the rest of his roster to stand tall this round. And as vertical pressure is being exerted by Nova's attack, slowly we're going to see the pinch start to come out on these players down below, and that's going to be one of those, the Vigil of Reverie. She's going to be sat next to the window, but as the window gets popped right next to her, she's in a very tricky situation. The Buck moves in and collects the frag onto the Vigil. Really good distractive teamwork there from Nova to shoot open the window and take the Vigil's attention. 50 Cow, he's in a position to trade. It looks like he's gone unchecked inside of Courtyard, but he's not able to protect Darth Tech from being fragged out from Kitchen. The frag finally comes out from 50 Cow, and the second one onto Toxic from the sole remaining anchor of Quackerbox. Pushing in, though, is Unstable, and that's the kill secured onto the site, and Parallax still holding the rotate up the Cool Vibe stairs. Nova win their first attack.
A round of smoke and mirrors, if you ask me, and I'll explain why very, very quickly. Like we saw, a lot of effort was focused onto Reverie from Nova. And that was to clear her out. And Reverie, while you die and you don't get a kill, that's a position where you look at it and you say, okay, that's fine. You've traded time, you've traded droning, you've forced them out of position that they've got to rotate around. Sure, that's great, yeah. That's something I'm happy with. And then you've also got 50 Cal and Dartex on Cool Vibes and that Courtyard ready to find a kill. They get a crossfire. In my opinion, maybe 50 Cal could have been in Blue Bar. That would have been a better position to cover that Cool Vibes. However, it wasn't like that, and we saw Nova taking control of it. Then they're focusing on that. The defenders, they don't actually have that control. They know that someone's in kitchen, but they don't have a line of sight to deal with. They're relying on Dartex to win the gunfight. A lot of focus is applied to this bottom floor that Quackerbox is all on their own, on site, and has to deal with a kill. Does find Zofia, does find Toxic, but Unstable's right there for refrags. Nova, that was a tight game. That was a well thought out game. But, and I mean, obviously it's Coastline. You don't expect that. No, you don't really expect many strats. A team that really thinks about what their opponents are doing and how they can counter it, because Coastline is a relatively small map. They're the team that's really going to excel. If you can cut off roamers, they're going to have a very minimum impact. That's why I said that Nomad ban, if you want to win on the defense first, you want to bring the Nomad first, because it can shut so many things down. Like, think about it. 3 air jabs, 2 stairways. You need an Oryx if you want to get past it, essentially.
Yeah, I love the setup here from Laser. They've got the vertical angles that Mr. 50 Cal on the smoke has created with that M590 shotgun. Vertical holes from the VIP room looking down onto kitchen window. Thank you very much, Science. That's going to mean that any attacker that vies to jump in the kitchen window is going to be shut down from above, because you have an angle lock. When you're vaulting, you cannot look straight up. So if Toxic does decide to make an aggressive entry here, there's no player, obviously, to play the holes, but we have the Vigil positioned upstairs. That's going to be Reverie yet again on the Vigil. She's going to be able to help out her anchors from above, and this is something about Coastline. Practically all the floors are destructible, and it gives a lot of variation, and we see a lot of Buck play. Obviously, Panther bringing the Buck these previous 2 rounds. The Buck can really expose weaknesses inside the defense, because you can tear up all the floor above this bomb site. Yeah, so it's going to be Nova now assaulting top down. Vertical pressure from the sledgehammer, and the Buck skeleton key is going to get to work on this flooring. And Zay, he doesn't need the sledgehammer to make something work, as he finds the gunfire onto Reverie. Hongoose is there for the trade, however. Laser doubling up, which is really good to see. They don't want to fall behind in man count this time on defense, as their players are doubling up. 50 Cal taking a few shots from above on more vertical angles created by Nova. But Hongoose, he's just going to persist and find a second one. Down goes the IQ and the diffuser. Hongoose now has a massive task to try and hold off the offense from the Buck, but he's gonna choose the wise option. Fall back down to sight and play the time and the numbers.
Yes, the flashbangs will come through from Panther, but right now we're seeing Nova getting distracted and realizing these are some big, big issues we need to work around. To deal with it, Toxic has just gone and jumped in sight. Very, very quietly, walking, crouched ADS. The quietest way that you can move in this game. But Hongoose is able to find Parallax. Right now, we're seeing the attackers. They're struggling to really get together, because Hongoose is tearing them apart. Toxic's able to find a kill. Dartex gets the refrag, and Hongoose to shut things down. Putting Hongoose on that Jaeger on a map like Coastline, well, that's a scary thought, Kenny. We saw exactly what he could do on Clubhouse, and, well, that's what happened. We saw him just playing by luggage. As soon as you know that somebody's up there and you're the attackers trying to do vertical, you realize that you can't. Because there's always that pressure, always a possibility of a flank. You might not, you don't have a Nomad. You can't just focus on that bottom floor. You've got to deal with the issue presented. And at that point, well, Hongoose was picking apart players. Suddenly you're in a 3 versus 5. And Hongoose is just picking things apart. Holding on the white stairs, causing that pressure. Suddenly Panther and Parallax, they've got to worry about you. And Toxic's all on their own on site. Nova, they got split apart very easily. In a very similar way we saw in that first round.
Laser really making use of that Nomad ban that they brought out themselves. Hongoose and Reverie being that... I love using the word wormy, because I think it just symbolizes the play style of some players, where they just wait for the perfect moment to strike. They're always there, but they manage to slip through the attacking eyes on holding the flank, and that's exactly what Hongoose and Reverie did. Yes, Reverie was the opening kill, but she was the bait there for Hongoose, and when you've got a player in your roster like Hongoose who can turn the tides of a round, that's really good for a team. It's individual skill and individual talent that could see Laser taking home the championship. Nova, they need to shut down Hongoose, because that's what, his 3rd 4K in this matchup so far?
Yes.
It just scintillating stuff. He's yet to get the ace, so it's not all rainbows and sunshine.
it's a team game, Kenny. You know, you gotta help sometimes. Looking at it though, Laser, they've got a pretty good spread going on. Honkus obviously is providing a lot of that fragging legwork, but it's keeping pace with Nova. That's a very important part at this moment. You're looking at the kills they've got. Well, obviously, Laser, they're not exactly far off. They're only a couple of kills behind, maybe 3 or 4. Right now, though, Nova, they're probably feeling very uncomfortable after that last round. They got picked apart. They lost their gunfights in one-on-ones, and well, that's the worst thing for morale, is when you lose it on just on your one-on-ones, because suddenly you realize that you might be outclassed. You might be outskilled, and, well, Unstable is about to outbrain Reverie very, very quickly. She'll be picked up in luggage. Honkus is there with the refrag. The sledge taken away, but that's not the huge impact kill you want on Softbridge. You want to take away Buck, because Sledge only goes down, Buck goes up and down. Get Buck inside Blue Bar or inside Sunrise, suddenly you've got a huge issue in your cards. The Jones will be coming through for Unstable. They will be able to find that Mr. 50 cal and the Melusi. And realistically, right now, Laser, they're starting to feel the pressure. Nova, they're wanting to apply it, and they're wanting to get these jaws just that little bit closer to clamping down, Kenny.
Yeah, there's a lot of areas of pressure here from the Nova attack. We've got players on the courtyard roof, players below, players on the hooker balcony and window, and that means that the anchor of Dartex is going to have to scamper to safety because he is a dead man if he stays inside of hooker, and there we go. All the pressure exerted from Nova's attack has completely cleared the hooker bomb site. That means if they are able to pick up this diffuser, which has just been left on the roof, they can potentially go for a plant. Panther on the precipice of the bomb site now moves in, gets Goomined, but is able to fire a few shots towards Cool Vibes. That's going to be Quackerbox on the Legion, and as the diffuser does get recovered by Parallax, Dartex answers back. The Evil Eye kill onto Panther. Obviously, those Evil Eyes do pack a punch with 5 damage per laser hit. And with a lit opponent, that could be a swift end game for you. Honkus, another kill for him. 6 so far in the first 3 rounds. It's all on Unstable and Parallax moving into the hooker bomb site. One with the bomb, that's Parallax. He's not able to deal with this Evil Eye, who's going to give constant intel to the defense of Laser. Parallax getting that bomb down, he's right away, and it's all up to Unstable to cover. The bomb does get planted, however, as Honkus is on the ground, and now a retake is in order for the Laser defense. 50 cal finds one, and Parallax, he's been injured. But do Laser know about it? They're still scampering to look for the position of this last defender. But little do they know he's on the floor, and if 50 cal sticks this defuse, that's the round and the retake secured for Laser. There just wasn't the manpower in the final seconds for Nova's attack.
Yeah, I feel like the lack of information, it could have gone completely the other way if there's one player still alive. Laser, though, well, they did very, very good. What they did, and what they did good, was they stalled them out. They didn't let them get in that control in the site until about a minute left on the clock. And they dealt with it very quickly. That Evil Eye was able to find that first kill. Parallax had to try and push through alongside the IQ of Unstable. They had to move in. They didn't have time or resources to deal with any of the utility. The sledge frag grenades were taken almost immediately as that opening kill from the defenders. And, well, simply put, there's too many players on the board. The Alder was there, constantly giving that information, putting the pressure on Parallax, and, well, Parallax wasn't able to kill it. So when that final plant that did get stuck went down, did a lot of damage and was able to injure them. It just gave the amount of mental pressure on Nova was immense at that point. Very, very difficult for them to bring it back. They gave it a good go, don't get me wrong, but it was just a case of going into kill boxes and putting your head in the jaws of the defenders. Penthouse, though, Kenny, an interesting site, one we don't really see that often, and as you're the big-brained analyst stats man, well, maybe you can run us through it.
If defended correctly, it can be a viable bomb site. We don't typically see it inside of, say, T1 Siege, because there's very easily... The bomb site is very easy to isolate. Because of that big window, you can cut off the entirety of the penthouse bomb site. You cannot sit safely inside of the bomb site whatsoever, because that double window has vision on the entirety of it. Behind the bed, you're not safe. Behind the cabinet where the Cade is sat is wall bangable. And especially if the offense brings a hard breacher to open up that triple wall, there's safe entry into the bomb site, because VIP, it also has an external double window, so it's very difficult to sit inside of there as well. And that's why Penthouse is tricky to defend. But if held well, and an emphasis on plant denial, which we do see 2 C4s on the side of Laser's defense on the Cade and the Mute, they could easily deny a potential plant attempt.
Well, the big problem for me right now is that, well, Nova, they don't have a box. That utility, it's very difficult to deal with. And like you said, these C4s, they're really huge if that wall gets opened, because it stops the plant going down. But, well, right now, Laser, they're in a position where this wall might not get opened at all. You've got to really get some cojones if you want to deal with this utility. You don't even have an Hibana where you can do that little Hibana trick where you go down below, you shoot those pellets up, you can actually clear the utility. And it actually works to destruction, and it can't be electrified. That's not going to happen. You don't have any of the tools that you need. You need to get a really nicely timed frag grenade, and, well, Hongoose is just going to say no, catching Zay off guard. A very nice ult walk moving through, and Parallax is stuck outside on Hookah balcony, not wanting to get in. Nova, they're stalling out again. This is their map pick. You'd expect them to take to it like a duck to water. You'd expect them to be really aggressive with their momentum, because that's how you've got to play this map. That's how you've got to take your attacking side. You do not give no quarter, no nothing. Right now, Nova, they're crouch walking around. They're trying to deal with utility. They've got a Thatcher that can deal with that wall. But they're not even going to bother. They're going to try and get the Sabrina gate taken away. The Cade is just going to sit there and knows exactly where to look. Picking up the K-Claw, will have to put it down again to stop that utility, but then Sable's able to finally kill onto Reverie. Catches that Kapkan on the roam. An impact kill? Probably not. The Cade is still able to get this utility. And right now, we're going to see Toxic open up the wall. The K-Claw will go down. It will just be about to get it, I do think, but no! Oh my lord, yes it went through. Mr. 50 cal, a huge effort, but Panther's there to at least get something back. We'll be able to kill Hongoose, and in doing so, a 3 versus 4. Mr. 50 cal will get another kill. That wall will start to open up, and the EMP, that's going to make life just that little bit harder. The Ace Selmas will get the down. Panther confirming the kill. Dartex and Quackerbox, well, they need to stay alive. It's only going to be Quackerbox on the flank on 90. The plant's going down. You're in a post plant. You need to run right into Parallax. You find Toxic. You don't find another, though, and Nova will take the penthouse site.
Wow, it came down to the wire for the attack, but they managed to make it work. And as I spoke about, that triple wall, if you get it open, yes, Nova got it open with 15 seconds left, but that was all they needed to push into the site and get the bomb down. Laser didn't have the manpower to attempt to deny that plant. And in the end, Nova stood strong in the retake. Parallax with a very smart post-plant position. Well, that's a lovely bit of alliteration. Post-plant position. In the bookshelves on VIP. Shut down the attempted retake from the Mute through the 90 corridor. And we see why Penthouse not that viable, especially with Thatcher on the board. I think if Thatcher was banned away instead of the Monty... that K-Claw stays up, and Nova don't get that wall open.
I feel like it might have been Nova saying, well, we've got a Thatcher, let's not worry about the vertical play. But that definitely was Nova expecting a double bar site, because, well, you do. Simply put, you do expect it. Penthouse hasn't been seen in Pro League for quite a while, at least in EU, NA kind of regions. So, looking at that Penthouse's position, that's really not something you do. You expect to bring a double bar setup. And I'll talk exactly why the Nova lineup did exactly that. They had the Thatcher. That was an office wall take that Nova wanted to accomplish, but they couldn't because the site didn't allow it. They had the Thatcher, they had the Ace and the Thermite. So they could go above, they could use the Ace for vertical, they could use the Sledge for vertical as well. That wasn't what happened because of the site catching them off guard. Although they adapted very nicely, that Thatcher was able to get the wall in the end, and so was the Ace. I feel like that was the big turning point, because until then, it was 100% Lasers round to win. Now, we're going back to Kitchen. And we're going to be seeing Lasers attempt to really just put the pressure on. Because last time we were here, Kenny, if you'll remember, Hongoose had an absolute stinker of a round, didn't he?
Yeah, a 4K on this one. Some really clever utility placement there. The Mute Jammer stopping the drone from entering in the service door. Panther is going to utilize one EMP to obviously disable that jammer, but that will only be for 10 seconds, so they've got to be quick about this intel gathering. The drone comes into service, 2 drones in fact, and that's going to spot out the smoke's position behind the shield, and hopefully, no, not the player behind the beer shelves. So they're going to just spot out the one player on site, and maybe that's going to give them the overconfidence to rush into the site, expecting just the sole anchor. Instead, there'll be 2. Elsewhere, it's the frag grenade from the side of Zay to find Reverie, as she's been very unlucky so far this game, not finding a single kill yet. But a man who is finding kills, Hongoose.
Yes, Quackerbox would like to put their name in the kill feed as well, and is currently fighting a 1 versus 2. Isn't able to land those shots and will be taken down, but somebody who can is waiting in the wings. Hongoose able to find Toxic, and while suddenly Parallax is also aware of this, and they're going to push in together. The confirmed kill will come through, and well, Hongoose knows exactly where that Capitao is playing. Low HP, doesn't realize how low Parallax is. Just going to pull back, play it safe. Caught off by Unstable, holding that angle, and suddenly a 2 versus 3 in favor of Nova. Quite surprisingly, we've seen a lot of actual analysis being able to come through in how these teams are playing on a map you don't expect it. However, that's not really important. The smoke canister will go off. That's important, because now there's only 1 left in pocket. 40 seconds, pretty much on the clock. That's going to be used at the perfect time. That Mute Jammer, it's not a Banshee. It's not going to tell you when they're pushing, and that EMP can just shut it all down. Real opportunity to go for a pinch at this point. The Elder, though, in supply, that's something you never take for granted, Kenny, because it can sing. Today it's going to sing a sad song of death and will be taken off by Unstable. Gives the information to Mr. 50 cal, but Nova, they're going to close the round out. Unstable, as soon as you find the kill into the Maestro, well, yeah, that's essentially it. The pinch comes through, that 2-pronged defense. They can't push together if there's a Maestro and a smoke, so as soon as this kill comes through, they all collapse on that smoke.
Yeah, especially I feel sorry for SMG11 players on Coastline because it's probably the one map where the SMG, well, there's a lot of maps where the SMG isn't great because there's a lot of long-range engagements, but boy, Coastline is the king of long-range engagements. And having that difficult to control SMG with limited ammo in a magazine is just a nightmare for any player, especially in a clutch situation. You're not able to take multiple gunfights. It's tough taking one gunfight because you're against attacking ARs which pack a punch. They have the 1.5 and the 2x scopes. It's not a nice place to be. So I feel for Mr. 50 cal in that situation. And he said, no, I'm not playing the SMG anymore. Give me Jaeger. I want to be able to take these long-range engagements. Hongoose kicked off the Jaeger, but he's back on his favourite operator from Clubhouse. It will be the Mute, so he has access to that 1.5 scope, which he made absolutely lethal in the last map. And I'm excited to see what he does with it. Does he roam below? Does he sit on site? Because he has access to that C4, he may play below. The only C4 on the side of Laser's defense, as Reverie is bringing those impact grenades to help with the rotates. There's no, obviously, no shotgun on Hongoose on the Mute because he is bringing that MP5K. So you have to bring the impacts to be able to aid with the soft destruction.
Yes, that's perfectly fine. There are a lot of impacts, like you said. And this is a map where impact tricking doesn't really have a place. So, yeah, it's fair enough. It's understandable. You can try and use impacts for kills, but you think about it, if you're Reverie, you just bring a C4 instead if you're worried about getting kills with it. So, definitely bringing the impacts to the rotates and trying to just set things up quite nicely. Nova, they've at least secured a 3-3 split from some very, very strong performances on their attack. And, well, right now, Laser, they look to even things out. Nova, they're going to be heading below. They're going to have that Jackal looking to deal with this roam game. They haven't brought the Nomad, which is a real... I feel like Nomad and Jackal... Right, Kenny, think about Maestro and Echo. They do the same thing differently. Hongoose on Mute and Jaeger, they do the same thing differently. They find the same amount of kills, but just on different operators. That's how I feel Jackal and Nomad operate, because they shut down the roam game, but they do it differently. For example, a big issue, Zay's gone undetected because someone else has been caught. Now he will definitely make a statement of intent, getting that wall open and just pulling back. Right now, though, Nova, they're feeling a lot of pressure. They don't know where this roamer is because they didn't scan him. Reverie, she'll be knocked down and will be taken away. Very unfortunately being the opening frag in almost all of these gunfights at this point. Unstable will be able to find a kill and will confirm onto Reverie. Panther also being dead. Those Banshees, they have a lot more utility, as do the Evil Eyes and Mute Jammers, but Nova, they're starting to stall out here. They might be trying to do this distraction game that we saw in the first round, but right now, it's just simply not showing, Kenny.
Oh no, Honk Goose has been jackal pinged inside of kitchen and the pinch comes out from the Capitao in bathroom. Really good roam clear there from Nova, making use of the main ability of the jackal. That ability that can be ever so annoying and pesky for the defenders. Proves its worth. So as another laser member falls, it's all on 50 Cal and Dartex, two very capable guns in their hands. We've got the older and the 416 to sing maybe not a sad song this round, because there's only 35 seconds left and Nova actually have to push onto the bomb site, and a tricky engagement up the Cool Vibe stairs will meet the ends of Toxic. The Ash taken off the board, and time dwindling, and Nova are only just making their advance into Aqua. This is going to be a really late execute, and Laser, they're in the driving seat because they can just play the time. Nova have to get this bomb down. It's in the hands of Unstable. The Evil Eye not being able to be cleared, and we're going to see a push into the bomb site with the bomb as it goes down. The Older is going to absolutely shred through the remaining player, and it's all on Zay, who has not enough time to go for the frag or plant the diffuser, and Laser level it up 3-3 as we switch sides.
Huge effort coming through from the Maestro and from Mr. 50 Cal there, and well, you know what? That was a good round. That was very, very nicely done. Dartex and Mr. 50 Cal, like you said, they realized you just hold up and you just goddamn wait. At the moment, throughout all of these games so far, you can see the stats on the board. This is the whole series, not this game. Do not panic when you look at Honk Goose's KD. That's huge, though. Honk Goose has easily been that standout fragger, in my opinion, and has just really stepped up in a massive way. But this is a map where we've seen a lot of the laser players come into their own as well. I feel like Dartex and Mr. 50 Cal, this has been their map more than Clubhouse, in my opinion. They've really come up huge. They had the Maestro, they had the Jaeger, and they simply said, right, we wait, we stall them out. That's not just one player that can do that. That is a team effort. That is a huge opportunity to be able to do that. And then, like you said, came down to those last couple of seconds. They had to go up those staircases. Laser, they just took it one by one. You saw Mr. 50 Cal get one kill on the stairs. That's their two-pronged approach gone. They had to commit the Jackal to go around Bar's area. They were only able to find one kill. Dartex was too busy getting the diffuser and getting the Capitao. So, you know, huge round from them, but it's only a 3-3 split. Nova have a lot of potential now, and going onto the defense, the opportunity to set the pace is there. They can deal with saying, okay, these are the areas you need to clear, these are the areas you need to be worried about. We're going to take the gunfight to you, not the other way around. You've got to deal with our defense, rather than we're seeing Nova having to really just react. They can be the defining force in a round, and this Mozzie's going to do exactly that. It has those Mozzie pests and says, you clear me out, you're not going to be able to drone me, and Unstable going to start things out. You can't drone him, able to find Quackerbox. And, well, Thatcher being removed off the board. Laser, they're already a player down, looking to move into Coastline.
The Mozzie's feet has been spotted through this drone hole, and 50 Cal, if he hits the prone position, he's going to spot out the feet of the Mozzie. He's going to shoot out his own drone, but I think that's a worthwhile trade, McCready. The Mozzie can collect the drones. He doesn't need to, but he's going to sacrifice his life for it this time around. Toxic, a C4 off the board, and a Roamer gone from the top floor. So IVC Laser, their offense, which has the use of the buck. They're going to be able to exert some vertical pressure as they have cleared the only roamer on the top floor, but it doesn't look so. The Jackal's going to call out that he sees footprints leading into Sunrise, and Honk Goose is going to capitalize, because Zay, he's alone in Sunrise, and that's one of those choke points that once you're in Sunrise, and there's a player inside a blue bar, you can't leave. He was stuck there to die, and die is what he did. Laser capitalized yet again on some really good Jackal play. We've seen Jackal be a thorn in both defenses because they just can't. You can't move around coastline without leaving footprints everywhere. And if Jackal's in the right place at the right time, what do you know? He's gonna find you out.
Yeah. I talked about Nomad and Jackal, and I weighed them up, but I think Coastline's a map where Jackal really excels because you can't hide, simply put. There's positives and negatives to both sides, but that's not really important right now. The Jackal able to find some really good kills. That's what's important. Like you said, the crossfires. The coordination between these teams has been huge. And we're going to look at Parallax able to find one kill, but Honkus is already inside. And suddenly the kitchen window push comes through. The plan starts to come down, and Stable isn't even aware of where. So going through that rotate hole, that's going to be Reverie finding the kill. Panther in a 1 versus 3 finds Honkus. Needs to find 2 more and be on that diffuser by 7.15 seconds. But Dartex is going to make sure you don't even get 1 step closer. Able to find a kill in a very nice post plan. Reverie checking towards the kitchen toilet side. And Dartex covering the only other angle. Watching that kitchen door, the push came through, shut it all down. Really nice execute from Laser. They knew where the problem areas were going to be once that plant went down. And honestly, a really good recovery coming out as well. Because as soon as Honkus gets taken away, the tip of the spear, I think it's very important to say at this point, Kenny, tip of the spear, it's the right word to describe Honk. As soon as that's taken away, you blunt it a little bit. But no, Dartex knows exactly where you are. That core's gone out, and all the guns are going to be focusing on you. Very nice attacking round from Laser. They're going to have to attack Hookah, Lounge, and Billiards this time. Going over to this site, I feel a pretty structured team will opt for that VIP penthouse take. You get in, you drone, you open up the hatch, you take theater, you move over towards luggage and towards VIP. You open up one wall, you look at this cross, and you say, okay, well, there we go. We could go for a plant on default. Now, big thing that our chat has just been, our observer has just noted in chat, Flores is allowed in the CENC. So, Reverie, she's going to be bringing that and looking to have a real opportunity to avoid that Master Chief KD, which, as much as I hate seeing it, I love to see it. Because it means a player might be struggling a little bit frag-wise, or they've really committed to the support role. But it, yeah, it means, Reverie, she wants to get away from that Master Chief KD. I love to see it, I hate to see it. Hopefully for her, I hope for her sake, we don't. But Hookah Billiards, there's a lot riding on this one. It is that go-to site for a lot of teams for a reason.
Is this the first ever official play of Flores inside of Siege?
I think
because he's still in a competitive quarantine for
most
the rest of most leagues. This is the first time I've personally seen Flores, and this is the use of these drones. You can easily clear utility scot-free. There's no mute jammers, no mozzie pests on the side of the defense. These drones can go into the site unimpeded, clear away any ADSs, and potentially net a kill here. We see the smoke forced out of position onto the Cool Vibes stairs. He's not able to reinforce the Cool Vibes wall, and that drone almost blew a hole in it, and that means that one of the lynch pins of this bomb site, the vase position, is gonna be very weak.
Honkus able to find a kill onto Zay. Now we're starting to feel this pressure. VIP and Hookah and Billiards has been taken. VIP and Theater. I seem to be getting a bit confused in my old age and the late nights. They seem to be hitting Kenny, but still. Penthouse and Theater have been taken. Honkus has found that opening kill. We just have Flores putting so much pressure on. Right now, Reverie, she's still got 2 of those drones in pocket and a Claymore on the wall. It's very hard for people to deal with her. And these EMPs, they're going to make sure any mute charmers that aren't on the table will be dealt with. Right now, that VIP wall, that's open up. Honkus over towards luggage. We're in a very, very good spot if you're a Laser player, you're a Laser fan. If you're a Nova supporter, though, well, things just got all very, very difficult. They have got a player waiting by the couches, ready to put some pressure on. Are they going to have that impact, though? That's what I want to know. Are we going to see Parallax having that huge round-defining moment. Well, with the shotgun SMG, it's a solid bet, to be honest, at this range. You look at this, the swing comes out, you spot the Capitao. Mr. 50 Cal gets a kill, and Toxic gets one as well. The shotgun downs 50, and Dartex is taken down. It's all down to Quacker. Reverie gets on the attack. She finds a kill. It's a 2 versus 2. The drop of the Blacktop's gonna be coming through. Laser, they realize they're gonna have to go for the pinch, but the C4 goes. Unsable realizes that this is happening, and right now Parallax is all alone. Quackerbox able to win out that gunfight, and Reverie, she still has those 2 Flores drones. She can put them in, make the sightlines for herself. Well, she only has 1, but that's all she might need. Right now, Parallax is stuck in a very awkward position. The pinch is coming through. Quackerbox is taken away, but they're not pushing at the same time. 10 seconds, a pre-fire comes through, and there it is. Reverie's able to get to second kill, but more importantly, another round for the Laser.
Impact frags there for Reverie. Yes, she had 1 kill before the round, but 2 impact frags at the end of this one, round 8. And that is her round. She secures Laser's second attack, and they are starting to pull away with map 2. This Ace Thatcher combo can be devastating on Coastline. Yes, there's not much emphasis on the reinforcements and opening up breaches, but it just adds extra sightlines that the defenders have to worry about, and it puts the anchors in uncomfortable situations. And when you're able to push the anchors out of uncomfortable situations into your line of sight, especially with the likes of Honk Goose and Mr. 50 Cal, when their guns come alive, it's really difficult inside of Nova's team to do anything about it. You have to, on defense, I feel like Nova, they can't be the passive ones here.
No.
They have to be the ones taking the aggression to Laser and not allowing Laser to set up their angles, set up their crossfires, and not allow them to dictate the flow of the game. Because I think since we've gone on to attack, albeit 2 rounds, I think that Laser have started to dictate this game, and with them being the victors of map 1, Nova really can't afford a loss on map 2 here, because they go map point down, and they then thereafter have to win all 3 remaining maps.
Yes, map point. Serious point for Laser if they win this round. Well, they'll be put onto it, and the opportunity for it. If they win Coastline, well, Nova, they're going into Oregon at a severe disadvantage. And, well, simply put, if they go into Oregon with a severe disadvantage, well, that's the mental game really coming in. Laser, this is really the opportunity to clamp down and win these rounds, because, like I said, their attacking, it really struggled on Clubhouse. Coastline, when they were able to win the attacking rounds on Clubhouse, it came down to being able to win their gunfights, play together, go for refrags, and just barrel through an entryway onto site. That's what you want on Clubhouse. The big thing is... they got shot out, but fine. The big thing for me in this lineup is that Flores has been brought again, even though Nova, they could go down to that kitchen site. They could go down to double bar. Well, they're not going to. Even if they do, though, it's perfectly fine, because in a pinch, Kenny, I've used these Flores drones to do vertical play in kitchen on Kaf Dostoyevsky. When you don't have a hard breach, they have a sizable impact. It's not what they're meant for, but it works. It also allows you to push these players out of key positions, like that shield. Right now, Nova, they're playing very passive. There's 2 players over towards that. Cool vibes. And Kenny, would you like an explanation on the caster curse? Because, well, Unstable's really happy to provide one. Dartex getting caught away as soon as I say they're not playing aggressive. Unstable ramps it up a little bit, peeks that angle with a pre-fire, gets the kill, but Mr. 50 Cal's there to get a little bit of revenge. Laser, 4 versus 4, their aggression, their utility, it's able to do quite a bit of work. But nobody of these 3 players in that position spotted that default camera. Nova knew exactly about it, and Panther's able to find the kill alongside Toxic. Could be the kill that they need. They're just gonna have to wait down this timer at this point, because that's all they need to do. 1 round gives them, if they win it, they're only 1 round away from tying with Laser, possibly going to that match point position first. But if they lose it, well, suddenly they have to play that perfect game, and it's just not going to go very well for them when Laser are very, very comfortable and in control at the moment. And speaking of in control, 50 cal, the smoke canisters, they're going to start moving through. It's not going to catch out Toxic, though. He's going to crouch through. Quackerbox will be able to find a kill, but they still don't know about the Melusi. Able to down Quacker. Reverie will find that refrag. Zay with the C4 finds 50 cal. It's all down to Reverie again. She could get the revive, but that Yokai, it might have information. They might know exactly where you are. Parallax is going to be scanning it, looking exactly for it, realizing the plant is going to be going down soon. With 8 seconds, this Yokai can just win it all down. But it's blocked. You have to go the long way around. You're not going to make it in time. But Zay will, stopping the plant going down and keeping Nova in the round.
Oh my. The Yokai stopped by the little bit of wall at the base of the rotate, which was not shotgunned away. And I think Laser were really smart about that. The player not planting, I can't remember which one it was, because they both had AR-33s, so it was very difficult to distinguish between the Thatcher and the Flores. So Reverie went down Cool Vibes while Quackerbox was planting, because they knew Nova had a pulse. So she went down, assuming the pulse would be playing below in Sunrise to deny the plant with the cardiac scanner when the clock hit 000 and that plant was going down. But Pulse, he double bluffed. It's like a poker game. He didn't play downstairs. He came up top, even with a C4, and played along with the Yokai to practically double up on plant denial. He could either use his gun, or the Yokai did the job, or the Yokai acted as a drone for the Pulse in the eventual post plant. However it resulted, it was a Nova defensive round. I think they did win it early doors, having the aggressive peaks, as you spoke about the Caster's Curse. They took the initiative that round, and they shut down Honk Goose. They shut down the player on the hooker balcony, and that was the start of the waterfall for the round, because Laser, without the man count, struggled that round. And I think rounds that they have the man advantage, they're able to trade out. Oh dear. They're able to trade out an early spawn peak, our favourite, probably the oldest long-standing spawn peak from Coastline. I remember in the G2 Penta Grand Finals when Canadian picked a rook to spawn peak the hooker window on match point for Penta, and EG brought it back into overtime.
Beautiful times indeed. And with Canadian making it back into the Pro League scene just a little bit for the Invitational, well, it's going to be very, very exciting. Right now, though, that spawn peak, Laser aren't very happy about it, but I think it was in the time allowed, so Nova, they're going to be able to get away with it. And the time that Laser have taken to kind of check that it's legal, well, that's going to put them at a deficit, because they haven't gotten the building. They're still doing a lot of their preliminary droning. They don't know about this position. They don't know about Sunrise Bar still having a player in it. They're looking to just drone the kitchen site. Honk Goose will be able to find a kill, but you're still playing catch up. There's still a lot of things that can go wrong, and as it stands, it's a really good position for that to happen. Service will get open, the Flores drone will go through, and you will hear that little drum of death as it detonates. We'll be looking to get through that drone hole and move forward, and it can jump, so I'm kind of interested as to why. It's not going to get the kill, but it gets the shield. It does the damage. You just around the other side of the shield, you get a kill, but no, that's not going to happen. Zay, in couches, is going to be able to find this kill. He's going to be able to find a real big issue for Laser. He's going to be a thorn in their foot. And right now, well, the Lion doesn't have a mouse to pull it out. Laser currently sat very, very stalled out, very, very docile. They were able to get one Yokai, but a lot of these power positions, they're needed, and they simply aren't there, Kenny.
Oh man, I feared for Parallax's life, because he was actually on the Yokai when the Forest drone was detonated, but luckily enough for him, there's 3 seconds on that detonate timer for the Forest drone, so he's able to come off the cam and escape with only 30 or so HP off of his health bar. Honk Goose inside of Blue Bars, looking to clamp down on Zay inside of Sunrise. He doesn't have much aid, however, as the rest of his team are quite spread out thinly. We have a player on the kitchen window, player outside service, and a player in lobby. That lobby player is aggressing towards bathroom and will take down the second anchor player of Warden. That leaves it all up to Parallax on site on the Echo. And that MP5 SD can be a good weapon, but it doesn't really have a high DPS. The plant going to be going down on Kitchen Window. The knife from Revan and the second onto the dog. Fantastic coverage work from Reverie. Then it's all up to Panther now on low HP and a post plant. He has 35 seconds to work with and 30 HP. Reverie, 2 kills already this round, looking for a 3k. She hears the shots from the Jaeger, knows that position. Given away behind the black box. Reverie going to take the wide angle, but not take the gunfight just yet. She's going to wait for her Claymore to trigger. And Panther, he's obviously going to have to get close and peek that door to destroy the Claymore, but Reverie's going to be able to fire back and answer in return. Panther sees the red lines of the Claymore. He's going to go for the peek, and the second that shot comes out, Reverie's going to hit the trigger. Mouse 1 does the job. A 3k for Reverie. She has really woken up in these past few rounds. And Laser, that's match point.
God, Kenny, I wish I called out myself in ranked for my KD, because holy moly, they really stepped up in that point. She just came through. She found that knife onto the Echo, the one player with the power ability to shut everything down with Mouse 1. Everybody does, but he can do it safely. She just ran around the corner, knifed him, and then took away Doc for good measure as well. A huge performance from her, dealing with the utility, dealing with the shield, so that Echo wasn't a big issue. That Echo couldn't sit comfortably and drone. No, that Echo had to change their position, put themselves in a horrible area, and then that post plant was played to a T, really. A lot of times we'll look at it and say, it's very easy to criticize how teams will play out a post plant. No, that was perfectly done from Laser. They had a player outside ready to deal with the event that Reverie dies. But Reverie, well, she sat exactly on that wall. Obviously, there wasn't a rotate there. That was Nova's big mistake, because if it was a rotate, well, she'd have to cover that angle. Which she still played it really well. The position forced a wide swing coming out from Toxic. It's coming out from the Jaeger. And, well, simply put, Kenny, if you're holding the angle and you're expecting the push, well, there you go. That Claymore, you wouldn't look towards it because he had to shoot it. That's exactly what happened. Reverie, you played it beautifully. And then the big thing I want to point out as well, even with this rotate hole, right? Even if there was one, well, they had 3 Claymores on the side of Laser, as they do now. So that wasn't even an issue at all. Like, honestly, I'm looking at Laser. That round couldn't have gone better for them, in my opinion, bar the spawn peak. Unstable's going to be trying it again. It's not going to land, but right now, very high risk, very high reward. Nova, they realize this. They want to get that kill, but if they lose it, well, you're putting yourselves at that 1-player deficit on match point, and only 3 minutes possibly stands between you and Oregon, so do you really want to risk it?
They will be risking a bomb site. We haven't yet seen McCready, the Blue Bar and Sunrise Bar bomb site. And this is an intriguing position for me because they're bringing quite an unorthodox lineup. There's no Jaeger. There's obviously a heavy emphasis on the gunfights. You've got the Vigil, the Melusi, the Aruni, all, well, 2 and 3 speeds, along with the Vigil. Rook is going to be that main anchor. He's going to have access to that 2x scope. The only defender with an automatic weapon that has access to that 2x scope. So he's going to be able to shut down any immediate entry into the bomb site, while the rest of his roamers do the work elsewhere. One of those roamers, that's Melusi, inside of Kitchen. She's going to find a few bullets onto Honk, but Honk doesn't lose his gunfights. We've seen him, yet again with another frag. Honkus does not lose his wands. He's going to be shot in the back by Unstable, however, and we are collapsing towards the end round, and we've only seen 90 seconds of play so far. It's 3 versus 2 in favor of the defense, but there's still a lot of utility on Laser's side, and more importantly, Reverie's still alive. She has been pivotal in the late round for Laser, and she still has 1 Flores drone left to clear utility, clear any Banshees that are going to impede her advance into the site. 50 cal, he's still lurking and helping out Reverie in clearing this roamer of Toxic along with Panther, because the bomb is down in Hooker. They need to recover that diffuser, but Toxic stands in the way.
Yes, now, they need to deal with this Roma because there's still that crossfire down below to deal with. Unstable's going to be able to find the kill. It's going down to 50 cal and a 1 versus 2 to win this out. It's winnable. You have time, you have utility, and you have a beautiful shot onto Toxic. Now this shit just got winnable. Nearly said a naughty, naughty word there, but Mr. 50 cal probably made Toxic say one of his own. Second A shotgun's going to allow that drop into Office, going to allow them to come down, and the pre-aim, he's going to get it! And Laser, they are going to go into Oregon one map away from closing it all down. Nova, a much weaker map showing, but still, nonetheless, a huge round from Laser and a huge win, most importantly. Kenny, oh my God, it's just these colossal plays that are coming through that I don't think Nova are ready for, that Laser are just unstoppable with.
What a scintillating clutch from Mr. 50 cal in the death. Wow, that is... Wow, that shot onto the Cool Vibes player was insane. And then he had the wit about him to do the hot drop into Office and catch the last player alone on the bomb site in no man's land in the middle of the rotate. Just fantastic there from the end of the game. When we saw Lasers, sorry, go onto the offense, they just looked like a different team. They looked like they looked the better side, and I think that we can say Clubhouse could have gone either way. We went 15 rounds, 8-7. Either team could have won that last round, but I think we can definitively say that was Laser's map, and they deserved it with how they showed us they could attack.
Yeah, exactly. Hongoose, a huge performance on the frags, but Reverie really stepped up. 50 cal, all of the players on that side really had a great time. Nova, they had some real good rounds on the board as well. However, it just wasn't 7. It wasn't enough. We are going to be taking a short break before we do go into our third map and possibly final. That's going to be Oregon. Do not go anywhere. We'll be back in 3 minutes.
A rogue virus. No jobs. Sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass.
Hello, and welcome back to the Collegiate Esports National Championship. It has been an incredible ending to Map 2, and Lasers, well, now they're currently sitting very comfortably on Series and Grand Final point. But we're not done yet. They still have another hurdle to go through. We talked about this a little bit in the break, Kenny, but Oregon, what do we think it's going to bring?
Well, I think out of the first 2 maps, Oregon most closely resembles Clubhouse. We've had Clubhouse and Coastline as map 1 and 2 respectively. And Laser, yes, they were victorious on both, but one map, Clubhouse, was a lot closer than the second. Clubhouse was an 8-7 victory, and I think that Oregon and Clubhouse are very resemblant of each other in how they play out. So I think that we're going to see Nova bring a lot more to the table this map than what we saw on Coastline. Their strats are going to come out as we saw on Clubhouse, and we could see more MVP of the Bandit trick.
Yeah, now, something I talked about quite a bit in that first game when we saw Nova being pushed onto this match point, and it's kind of like, they've got to play a perfect game now. Well, now they need to do that for 2 maps, okay? Just to give them a chance to win. And I'm looking at these 2 maps, because Oregon, we talked about it and we said, okay, well, this is going to favor Nova a little bit more than Coastline. But the next map is Consulate. I feel like if Nova win out this map, we can see it being closed down on Consulate, because Coastline resembles Consulate a lot more than Oregon, and it's something we're talking about. It's like very tit for tat with these predictions, but it's something we've got to do, because I'm looking at this, and I personally don't see it going further than Consulate. If it does, then that'll be Theme Park. And then Nova would be the favorites for me, but if we do go to our theme park, Kenny, I don't think I can predict anything anymore.
Yeah, it would. All our notes and our paper will be thrown out the window. Something that isn't being thrown out the window is an unorthodox ban. Obviously, we're going to be seeing the Thatcher be the first operator knocked out for the count. And joining him will be the Monte. And we've seen the Monte be banned away by Laser all 3 maps so far. So they are not fond of that shield operator. Everyone has opinions on whether shields belong in Rainbow Six or not. I think I can certainly say Laser are against the shield operator. They haven't knocked out the Clash, however, in any of the maps, and they won't do so here either. The Clash hasn't been played, however, and if I was Nova, obviously Laser knocking away a shield operator on offense, they're not very fond of them, so why not bust out a Clash on your defenses? It may just shake things up and put some rounds slightly further in your favor. Yes, you have one less gun to act with, but Clashy has a massive range. She's basically like a walking banshee of slowing down people. You're a mobile 13-meter range damage-inducing banshee. And when you say it like that, Clash is a scary operator.
Oh yeah, absolutely she is. Especially when you're a team that really don't do that well dealing with them. Honestly, you're looking at... There it is! You're looking at Laser, right? And you're seeing Honku's constantly switch... No, it's going to be a 6. You're seeing Honku's constantly switching out to Zofia and playing that operator. Well, Zofia, realistically, you want Honk being the shooter when you're dealing with a Clash. Well, Honk can't do that, especially if there's a buck on the ball, because they don't know that the Clash is coming. That 6-pick is going to come through. I want Unstable to go to it because it might be what we need. And yes, there it is. And when you look at the site as well, Kenny, well, things have just got spicy, interesting, and hot all in the same moment.
I should be paid millions for my analysis. Look at that. I'm so good.
That's me when I predict, oh, someone's going to peak this after a couple of seconds, but, you know, well, technically we are, so, I mean, we're being paid in good games, I suppose, so...
Yeah, paid in entertainment, and I love entertainment. We're all here for a good time, and boy, I am enjoying it.
They're not even going to have an elbow hold to really compound this Clash. They're just going to have that position and just have Clash as a door. A literal door. Because Quacker's there, right? They have a Zofia, but they didn't see it on that actual lineup before the 6-pick. So, in their mind, there's nobody who could deal with it. So they're just going to play Clash on that doorway. And even then, even with the Zofia, it's very easy to just get into cover and wait. Right now, Unstable, well, that's going to be a real big issue for the side of Laser.
Yeah, this is amusing to see. It's Unstable, as you said, it's just going to be halting any kind of progress into the blue bunker area, and with Parallax supporting him on the pillar, he doesn't have to worry about his tower stairs flank and being shot in the back, so he can just put his full attention onto the bunker double door while the rest of his team hold off on the front, the laundry and the freezer area. But of course, as the Clash spots out the heavy drone work outside bunker, is going to be a blue and tower take. It looks like Laser are quite unexpected of seeing the Clash. There's 2 drones just staring at the Clash, and they don't really have much idea of how to deal with it. There's only the Zofia, which is a hard counter, but she's not in a position to deal with the Clash. We're going to see the E-box will get opened by one of those Selmas unimpeded by any wall denial. And a frag grenade gets expended, but going to do no damage to the Clash as of yet. And Unstable is just going to persist, playing aggressive on this double door, as another frag grenade is primed and ready, but not thrown anywhere close to deal damage to this Clash. An air jab goes out, but Unstable just manages to retreat into the Shiko position. And yet, still, this utility usage is fantastic from Nova's defense.
Yes, because those frag grenades, that's a very, very rare currency. Now, wherever he's able to find Parallax, that Maestro is gone, but the information it gives is not. You have Zofia with 2 impacts. That's all you have to deal with it. You have control of bunker. You have that Clash pushed out. but they're backing up to pillars. They're stalling out Laser in a way that they're not ready for, like we said. Remember, she's the only one with a kill. We're seeing Mr. 50 Cal looking to push forward, but they can't place air jabs down forever. You can have them in these key positions and move forward because of it, but you're going to stall out. Only one air jab is left. Zay is just holding this position. There's utility on the wall, and the Thatcher ban means, well, simply put, that elbow's not getting opened up. They're just going to start moving forward. E-Box will go through. Dartex takes some damage, but 30 seconds, something's going to happen. And Sable's going to be taken away by Honkus, who gets a second. Did this clash work out? Well, we're about to find out. Panther is able to find Honkus, shuts down the opening playmaker, but the push is coming through. You don't need one player, you need to find three. Toxic's able to find one, Panther gets another. It's all down to the 2 versus 2. The plan has gone down, but 40 seconds are on the clock. A lot of time for the defenders to really ramp up the aggression, but the attackers, they know where they're going to be coming from. These air jabs are still there. Panther will be taken away by Dartex, and now it's all down to Toxic. Doesn't expose himself to that E-Box angle and will take away Reverie because of it, but Dartex is on the drone. 20 seconds, Kenny. They know where the plant is, they know where this player's got to go, and most importantly, Dartex is ready. The bait will come through and just holds a position. 10 seconds. They've got to stick it very, very soon. And right now, you need to be on that diffuser. You can't let go. The round is lost. Toxic gets the kill. But a Pyrrhic victory, and not even a victory.
A 3k in a round loss, but a valiant effort nonetheless from the Goyo. It was a 2 versus 5 for the Echo and the Goyo. And they managed to bring it down into a 1 versus 1 in the post plant. Just not enough time left to get that diffuser disable. And the first round goes to Laser's offense in a round that really was stalled out by the clash. And Nova, they could have preyed on the Yokai drones stopping and denying the plant because the clock had turned red. Those final 15 seconds of the round also critical. But the Yokais were shot out because they were used in aggressive positions to aid the clash in her hold in bunker. Yeah. So if my question to Nova, if you're doing a time-wasting strategy with a clash while playing an Echo, save those Yokais, because ultimately Nova are going to have to get that bomb down if they don't play for the frags, and we've seen it all before. One standing Yokai winning a round, with the attackers are scrambling to find the kills while the bomb's going down, but they don't check for the Yokai, and it wins the round with one click of mouse, 1 from the Echo. But it wasn't to be for Nova. Laser take their first attack, and Nova, they don't want to reattempt the basement site. They're going to go up to kids' dorms and games room. Yeah. Jeez. Right. It's almost like it's been a long time since I've watched Oregon, McCready.
Oh, well, that's a blessed life you lead. But a big thing for me in that last round was that we saw the clash. It felt very targeted. And it was something we talked about that, yeah, probably could have had a lot of impact. But the big thing is, Laser, as soon as that clash at the air jab, Honkus was there. Honkus found 1 kill, found 2. Toxic was able to take him down, but immediately, Laser, they flooded in. As soon as the clash was gone, the problem was taken away. They pushed through, they found the kills, they got the plant down, the smokes were there. I think they just took Nova off guard. That's why their Yokai just didn't have any impact. They didn't expect to lose that control as quickly. As soon as Honkus saw an opening, well, just took it. Just walked in and took it completely. Laser, like you said, though, they're going to have to take this kids' dorms site. And, well, that games room that we talked about isn't going to get that much attention. It's going to be that big window. And, I mean, I see merit behind it, but I also don't at the same time. This big window, it's a very, very horrible choke point. And obviously, down below, there's risk of C4. So that's not going to be the case, because we do have Honkus on that Ash, on that roam clear. So there's something to do, you know. You're looking to make sure that that's just not going to be a problem at all. But it's still a choke point from very long lines of sight. Going in now with a diffuser just feels like a death sentence sometimes. A lot of utility has to be committed. A lot of things have to go right. And a lot of distractions have to be there. So it feels very much like a late round push opportunity rather than an ultimate strat for the round. Honkus is going to do some vertical play and try and deal with the people who are going to be looking there. That vertical play, that distraction is going to be coming through as Reverie looks to join as well. Right now, no real opening for Laser to jump in. It's going to take a little bit of time, and these Aruni gates are just going to slow everything down. They punish stalling out, and, well, that's exactly what they're trying to do. Unstable's going to take some damage from the white stairs. We're going to see Toxic ready to come back to side, but it's going to be Parallax, the first to fall, with a minute striking on the clock.
So much noise going on. The Skeleton Key, just gunfire from so many weapons, and we only have 2 deaths on the board. A lot of destruction going up through that vertical play from Reverie on the Buck. Dartex is gonna smoke off one of the crosses and hop in big window. He's gonna make the advance across to behind the bunk bed, but be shut down on the cross by Toxic. Hongu still persisting below, is gonna find the kill there onto the Cade. He's assisted by Mr. 50cal on top of White Stairs, but the Buck has hit a Guma on the top of Armory Stairs, but really unfortunate timing there from Panther. He's going to look away just at the wrong time, but another Guma is going to alert him to the presence of the Buck behind him in Trophy. He isn't going to be able to land enough shots onto the Buck, and it's all on Toxic now. The diffuser is been recovered by Honk. He finds a kill onto Mr. 50cal. It's all up to Reverie, but she gets down by a Gumine, so it's all into a 1 versus 1 now. Honkus, the man who had 21 frags on the first map, he needs another here in the series, and yes he does. He collects it by holding the aggressive angle, the headshot onto the Mozzie, and 2 successive attacks out of the first 2 rounds for Lasers.
Yeah, realistically, you look at that, and Hongoose, there was nowhere else you could play. So he held there, he waited, and he dealt with it. He held that aggressive angle because, like I said, if he tried to play it a little bit behind and cover that swing from Kid's door as well that wouldn't work. They just rotate into Kids and they cheat you in the side. So you had to play right on that breach. If you tried to swing a little bit and look at the rotate, well, the Kid's door, that's going to take you out as well. You played it perfectly, Honk. You did very nicely. Very, very sloppy, though, coming out from Laser. Yet again, they had to push their way into side. They had to lose quite a few players, a lot of time in utility. A minute for that first kill to come through. Then it all kind of exploded and spilled over. That's when the kills came through. That's when we saw Laser pushing in and the plant going down. Really good effort from Nova. It wasn't enough, but it feels like it was a really close one, just like that last round on bottom floor. But the big thing is, Kenny, is it really close if at the end of the round, every single time, you just don't have what it takes to clutch it out? Whether it's time, utility, mechanics, there's something intrinsically wrong with how you're setting everything up. If it's constantly end round positioning, end round plays, where Laser are just bettering you.
I think a testament to that final round, as you said, the late round, the Buck was a massive turning point in Laser actually able to deny these anchor positions for Nova. You saw them, they were all backed into either attic or the games room, not able to deny the hop in from big window. Yes, they were able to eventually get the kill onto the ace, who repositioned by the bomb on the dorms area. It actually really confused me that games is a bomb site, but the bomb is by big window, and logistically that just really hurts my head. But
it's fine.
We move. Laser, another big window assault it looks like, and Unstable, he has those goo mines to be able to stunt the assault down below. Panther with the 2x is lurking inside of Dining, but unfortunate for him, he's taken a gunfight against Hongoose, and Hongoose, he wins those. He does expend an impact to try and secure the kill. That's a bit of utility wasted. The drone is going to call the coast clear for him to advance and secure the down.
I got very excited then, because I thought a flick came through on a refrag opportunity, but that's why the impact went through. It was Honkus trying to find that frag, trying to catch them off guard, purely because you realize you just lost a kill. Right now, Unstable's going to get very aggressive, will do a lot of damage to Reverie, but won't land that killing blow. And in doing so, well, you pull back at the halfway mark, You didn't get a refrag, but you got some HP. That's an investment for later. It's not the best thing, but, well, it has to happen at this point right now. This White Stairs pressure, that Runegate's going to get burnt open. Zay going to realize, well, there's a juicy C4 opportunity, but no! The head is going to be hit onto Quacker Box. And right now, 4 versus 4. Time to get down to a minute on the clock, and the goo mines are just going to keep on coming thick and fast. Realizing somebody's on the armory says, you don't want to get the goo mine out, you don't want to get the soup canister until you know someone's not there. And that makes sense. You want to be ready for the gunfight. Zay going to be holding this angle. Honkus, though, is going to be able to find the kill through an angle of their own and starts pushing through onto site. The Legion being taken away. Well, now you can start moving in. Utility quite low, but 2 drones on the field. You can bring it around, but that's going to waste time. Time is something you cannot afford to spend just witlessly. 50 cal will push up these White Stairs, realizes Zay is going to be an issue, and very, very quickly crosses. Now we're seeing Zay wanting to get aggressive, but Honkus is looking away. Gets out of Runegate, Parallax is able to shut down Reverie, but Darthex is able to go for the plan. They don't know. Zay realizes way too late, but Honkus is there to cover it. And now, 3 versus 2 opposed plan yet again. That laser have to defend, and Honkus is on for the ace again. 4 quad kills so far, but Dartex is going to make it 5. No aces coming through, but Laser, a much better round coming through. Able to pick apart this defense, able to mend them like putty when it came to this side. And we are going to have a quick break so we can talk about exactly what went round. Because there were a lot of things that could have gone wrong, but ultimately it's Laser just having that little bit extra at the end of each round, at the end of each gunfight. They just had a little bit more.
Wow, yes. As you said, the 4th quad kill for Honkus in this series. Incredibly impressive numbers that I think most people could dream of. Any skilled player would struggle getting 4 4Ks in a best of 5. So hats off to Honkus this series. He's really been the star player in the fragging department from Laser. But let's not forget, we have the support player of Dartex getting that bomb down, doing the nitty gritty, getting his hands dirty, droning his team in, doing just the utmost to help Honkus get those frags. So Laser, obviously, is a team game Siege, and Laser, they are showing the breadth of talent throughout their roster. Reverie, she's put up, especially in the last match on Coastline, she has put up very high impact frags to win out rounds. Quackerbox, he's had a quieter game, but I can notably say that the kills he has got have turned rounds in Laser's favour. I notably think of the round on Coastline and Cool Vibes. He got the double in the end game in the 2 versus 3. Just, yeah, Laser, they're just starting to pull away from Nova and just show that slight extra bit of class that they have.
Yes, I think that's the biggest thing at this moment, because Nova, they're playing well. They have good strats. They have good mechanics. I'm not seeing anything and looking at it and saying, that's wrong, that's bad, they shouldn't be doing that. It's just coming down to the little things. They're maybe peeking too many things. We saw Unstable try and take down Reverie on a swing. Took a lot of damage, just, well, pulled back. But, well, my big point is you're getting very aggressive, and that's not a great mindset to have with Honkus on the board. Zay, in that games, as soon as we saw 50 cal start to move up, he played it really safe. He got up to the very top, made sure he wouldn't get peeked. As Zay realized that he was in that position, started to move around, heard the plant and wanted that C4, but you had a player in Attic, you had a player in Kids, and they did nothing. I think it's just these little micro decisions that they make having macro impacts, Kenny. And I think it's Siege. It's kind of like, you know, every round is different. Think about it as drops in a puddle. Every little drop has a ripple. That's what we're seeing right now. Nova, the ripples just aren't landing in their favor. Laser, they're playing it very nicely, very concise, very tight. I think every single round they've had the opening kill. And if you can bring up the stats very quickly, we're going to see who's had a very strong impact in terms of frags, if we can get those stats up. And I feel we know exactly what it's going to be. Right. So this is the series set, like we saw before. But it gives us a fresh look, Kenny. Look at this right now. 14 kills in 4 rounds.
Yeah, so we have had a we've had a reset of the leaderboard this time. Our 6 analysts doing us a lovely little job, and the man of the hour, Hongoose, repping a 3 rating, which if you don't know what rating is, that is very high. Most people sit in the 0.8 to 1.3 range, so having a 3 rating, that's pretty damn good inside of Siege. I can't exactly say what goes into calculating rating, but it's a long equation of many things and maths that I can't be bothered to work out. So, in plain and simple terms, Hongoose is doing well. And that's why Laser are 3-0 up. He is performing in the fragging department, performing in the cost department as well. If you're unsure what cost is, it is the amount of rounds you either get a kill, play the objective, so planting or disabling the diffuser, you survive, or you get traded. So if you die and then a teammate trades your death within 5 seconds, I believe that counts as being traded. So and there's a few, I think there were 2 Laser players on 100% cost. I think it was Darthex and Hongoose.
Yeah, shocking that Hongoose is the player to beat at as well as Dartex. And the big thing for me is that, well, if you're not exactly sure what a trade is, well, it says in that little, like, little arrows next to a kill when a trade will take place. Right now, though, we're looking at Dartex has control of that elbow. It's not really open up. Reverie is able to get on that roam clear and will find a kill onto Zay. And, well, now we've got the Nomad putting a lot of pressure alongside Hongoose over towards the split area. Unstable will take away Dartex, the diffuser will go down, and there we go, Parallax, you took a minute, but you're able to find a kill onto Mr. 50 Cal. You keep the player control, and you're able to get that utility off the hatch. In doing so, well, you're just making life that little bit harder. Hongoose has to be aware of you. A minute down. This is a huge play to make. You're letting them know that you're there. Unstable, being taken away by Quackerbox. Good, but not great. Laser, right now, they're going to have to look for a push without worrying about that hatch. They've just got to go into sight. If they commit any more time, they expose themselves to Parallax in their mind and say, no, we can't do that. We can't risk losing a player in a 3 versus 3. We've been so strong so far. We're not going to lose it just yet. Pushing down this highway, they're just going to have to go in with the brute force, and Hongoose isn't going to have the hitting power necessary. Toxic finds the kill. Parallax coming down to Freezer, wants to get Crossfire going. It's a little bit too late, and Reverie is able to find a kill onto Toxic. That trade that I was talking about is there, and the plant is going down. But not before Panther's here. Reverie realizes there's a lot of potential. There's a lot of unknown quantities here, and the plant will fall. Panther's very low HP. Quackerbox will look to take the gunfight. Reverie is there for a refrag now, but they don't. Parallax heading up to E-Box. It's a real opportunity to shut things down. Quackerbox is fully distracted. The Nova, they're just playing a horrible mind game as Parallax is able to find Reverie. Panther gets Quackerbox. The defuse will start to come down, and Nova get their first round. But can he not before 3 rounds on the attack? A huge round so far. They just need to keep it going. They need to capitalize upon this. Stall them out. Make them uncomfortable. That's how you're winning the rounds.
Really good post plant there from Nova. Parallax realised that he could play a pinch with his teammate who was at the bottom of Laundry Stairs. If he flanked round the pillar side and came through supply, he was effectively, him and Vigil were choking out the 2 players. One of them in the tuck corner inside of the laundry machines, and the other one in the laundry closet. So just really good oversight there from Parallax, able to identify where the attackers are placed in their post plant, where his teammate is positioned, and how he can play around that to win out the rounds for them. And as you said, Nova's first defense, that could start to change the tides here on Oregon. If you're just joining us, Laser are 2-0 up in map count on our best of 5 series. So this map and the remaining 2 are last resort for Nova. They need to come out victors on all 3 of these maps if they want to be crowned our CENC 2021 champions. There's a long road ahead of them to do it, but if they bring up rounds like the last one, it's very, very possible.
not an easy task at all. A lot on their plate, and speaking of the plate, well, Unstable brings out the DP-28, or did a plate 28 actually. As you can see, a very heavy-hitting weapon, able to clear out a lot of this self-destruction in keeping with Ubisoft's idea of they want to change Tachanka, but they want to keep him the same. Right now, though, Nova, they're feeling very emboldened by that last round and a bit of aggression, ready to try and find a kill. Nothing has been seen by Panther, which is very important because it hints maybe they're over by Junkyard side again. That's not the case. They're going to be heading over towards that main lobby looking for a different push because I think Laser have realized, well, they're probably used to it at this point. They're going to be prepared. Vigil will spot this drone and be pre-firing it. Panther just pulls back. Realizes this isn't the place to lose a gunfight. Honkus could be on the other side of there. That bot can shut a lot of things down. And before we get anywhere, Crackerbox is going to put a nice frag grenade through into that game's room. But the Cade of Zay will put another one down. That's going to force another frag grenade. Now, if it doesn't catch that utility, they're screwed. Zay will take a bit more damage again, but pulls back. They're going to spot out Toxic in that armoring position, which means you got to pull back. Dartex is going to be able to get that wall open, and in doing so, now Zay, you're getting aggressive. You're realizing there's something you've got to do. The attic side's going to start opening up. I mean, it's tit for tat right now, but Laser, they're able to do a lot of the things they need, a lot of this success criteria, without much contestation from Nova. They're not really putting any pressure on, they're just kind of getting away.
Panther positioned down below. He has those two impact grenades to potentially impact up this soft floor below the master bedroom area and net a kill if Laser decide to go too close to the master breach inside the closet. On the other ends of the map, Maverick's getting to work on the attic wall. That blowtorch able to rip through those reinforcements unimpeded, and Maverick is going to be crawling through very close to Zay, and Zay's going to hear this and net the frag very close range with that Orc, dealing a lot of damage. But the trade, Mr. 50 cal is there for insurance. Unstable, oh no, the firebolt's coming out, gonna choke out Mr. 50 cal, but not able to net the kill. Elsewhere, we've had Laser absolutely fly onto the bomb site and getting the bomb down. Parallax is in nowhere able to do this, but Panther is flanking up the armory stairs, downing the diffuser. Laser, they still have the man advantage, but they don't have time on their hands because Parallax, he's flanking up those white stairs and he could catch the buck in the rotate, and yes, he does. Trade there from the sledge, and it's down into a 1 versus 1 as Panther shuts down Mr. 50 cal in attic. It's all on Crackerbox, but he doesn't know which way to look, and Panther in the 2 versus 4 comes up massive for Nova.
Yes, able to win it out and give them a second round on the defense. It's huge. It's what they need. It's the momentum shift that could turn into a momentum wave of their own for their defensive side, but that defensive side is only going to last one more round. Laser, 1 round on attack, you get a 4-2 split, you go into the defense, and well, we saw how strong on Clubhouse. Is that going to translate over to Oregon? We don't know. Right now, I believe it's Laser's pick as well to go into Oregon. Nova were the ones to pick out the coastline. So you've got to think, like, well, Kenny, it's not looking great. Laser, when they go into the defense, they might be a force to be reckoned with. Because they certainly have been on attack. Really big part of that round was the fact that we saw Laser being able to stall out Nova and divert their attention. That's something I've noticed in every game. Laser have been able to control when Nova are looking. And as a coach, analyst, everything that you do, you know how important that is. Because suddenly, as you said in that last round, Laser flooded onto site while Nova were trying to deal with that attic presence. And the plant was already going down. That's when we saw a retake push come through.
I didn't even realize that you heard the surprise in my voice. I was like, oh my, Laser have just bombed it onto site, and 5 players on the defense can only be looking in one direction at a time. Well, not all 5 looking in the same direction. Like individually, they can only be looking 5 different ways, and there were 3 focused on attic. One of them died as the K, but then the Tachanka backed up by the Aruni down below were all focused on attic, and Laser identified that and burst onto site, and that was really good. Really good call from Laser. I don't know who IGL's on the team, but really good call from whichever player made that call. And Laser, they weren't able to actually turn that into a round victory. So Nova, they have 2 rounds on the board now, and they are looking to defend the dining room kitchen area with a small tower hold from Toxic. The Wamai are going to aid him in not being stunned or grenaded out from this position. 2 nades on the hands of Reverie. And with the prone angle on the 1.5, he's going to find the head of Hongoose. Hongoose actually loses out a heads-up gunfight for the first time in quite a while that we've seen. And Reverie's going to look to reposition herself in the place where the Zofia just died. But Toxic, he's still going to persist in small tower.
This is something Nova haven't been able to do in a while. It start to stall out the attackers. You're looking at Toxic right now. Well, sure, there's a crossfire being set so that they can get you on your way out. No. Toxic, it's like Rafters on Garage in the 22nd meta. That one might stays there. You have to push it. You have to offer up some sacrifice, whether it be time or utility or players. Toxic's not going to leave. You've got to deal with it. Laser, they've read into that now, and they've realized we gotta head around. We gotta have somebody ready. But in doing so, so much time has been wasted. Dartex will be moving up these stairs and will be looking to deal with Toxic because they want to get the soft destruction. They want to get that utility. And Toxic, with that pixel position, should be set for a kill. Dartex, very careful, will be able to find that kill. Very quiet, very tight. Suddenly, you can start doing the vertical play, but a minute's already off the clock. That Twitch drone is going to opt for the kitchen side. You haven't even got the self-destruction done. Laser, this is going so wrong. I'm going to see a 3-3 split if something doesn't change at all very, very soon. Right now, Zay's just looking at this doorway angle in 3 versus 5 with a C4 in pocket. A C4 for Parallax as well. The drone comes through. Someone's going to follow it, but Unstable's holding that angle. Darthex is going to walk right into the line of sight. Will they win the gunfight? They're going to do some damage, but won't win it. And that's it. Goomine will go off. Zay lands the shot. Nasty onto Mr. 50 cal. Dartex is trying to get something. Will find Unstable, but 10 seconds left. The push is going to come through. Quackerbox gets it. Dartex finishes it off, but it was so close. So many things could have gone wrong. It nearly did. Dartex, if you missed a little bit, it was all over. Nova, if you played a little bit closer, it was all over. Toxic, if Dartex made a little bit of noise, it was gone. 4-2 split. Laser going on to the defense now.
Really, really impressive from Laser. I didn't know if you noticed, but when the ace was advancing towards the Wamai and top small tower, his teammate was shooting his gun towards the door to mask the sound of the ace aggressing. And that is a small detail. But that's a small detail that changes the outcome of a gunfight. If Toxic hears the ace crouch walking, yes, crouch walking is less loud. Wow, that great English. If God, crouch walking is quieter, is quieter than just normal walking, but you can still hear it, and that's the important thing. If Toxic was able to hear the crouch walk because there was no gunfire to cover the sound, I think he wins that gunfight. But the fact that he sprung up and he was surprised by the presence of the ace, you saw his aim kind of was scuffed by it. He shot down to the toes, not expecting that the ace to be that close on his position. So yet again, the team play from Laser just slightly edging out Nova, and that's the difference maker between the two teams. But we're switching sides now, and we have typically seen Nova be good on their offenses, especially on Coastline. We saw them get a 3-3 split, and in the overtime on Clubhouse, they were able to be successful on their only attack. So not all is lost here, but there's still a mountain to climb in terms of rounds, because being 2 rounds worse off, moving on to the attacking half just puts that slight doubt in your mind.
Yes, and I'm going to add on to that, actually, because it's something you said at the start, which was Clubhouse is more like Oregon than Coastline in Oregon. And, well, when we think about the attacks of both teams on Clubhouse, actually, it wasn't good. It was the tertiary side the attacks were able to win until we came to the penultimate round. Until we came to Nova attacking CCTV, which they were able to get aggressive and win. That wasn't happening right now. Right now, they're really at a point where they're going onto the attacking side without picking up many attacking defense rounds. They're struggling, and Laser have been great at setting the pace of the game on their attack. They've tried it with the Clash in the first round, but that wasn't meant to be. That hard breach gadget of that Zero will be going through, but not in the little corner you expect it to be. It's going to be making a sightline, and Toxic is going to be peeking it. With basically to Laser that simply says, okay, well, we do not want you to get through here. We have a Maestro Cam with information. Honk isn't going to be peeking this if he thinks he's going to lose it. The reinforcement will come through, and it will be heard by Zay, looking to push forward and get aggressive on this trophy door, but nothing is going to follow just yet. Nova, they're getting their pieces in position, but they're not ready yet. They need to find a checkmate, and they've only moved 2 pawns on this board at the moment. That attic, there's not much pressure being placed right now. Frag grenades are going to go through onto trophy to clear utility, but a minute's ticking down. You need to be a lot faster than this. Laser, well, they're just doing exactly what Nova did on close line defense. They're bunkering. They're playing safe. They're holding position because it's just easy as hell. Nova, they need to start pushing through, and the Zero, it doesn't matter if that Maestro camera's there, you've got to get aggressive. Reverie playing down below is able to find 1 kill, Dartex picks up another. Now we're seeing the rounds really coming to its climax. A kill, a wolf they place, and I believe Zay is trying to find it, but it's not going to happen just yet. The flank will be there. Parallax takes Zay, but gets Reverie, but is such low HP, you can't expect anything from them. It's all down to Parallax as Panther gets taken away. Laser, very comfortable round on their defense, and they'll be heading on to almost match point. 1 round, and they go to the bottom floor. Right now, we need to see a huge, monumental shake-up from Nova in how their attack went, because that just doesn't cut it at all.
Nova had only moved a couple of pawns, and then Laser moved their bishop and took command of the round. It puts them 3 rounds to the good over Nova, and as you said, ever closer to that map and championship point. They only need to complete 1 cycle of bomb sites. The kids' dorms, check. Laundry supply room is the next one up on the checklist. And a similar defensive lineup. The Vigil has been quite a mainstay of Laser's defense. Reverie really liking that operator. I think Reverie's on the defense. She's been flexing between the Kapkan and the Vigil, and those are 2 picks which have very similar playstyles in like that lurky, just I use the word lurk because it's such a good word. I love saying lurk. It's just a satisfying word to say, and that is the epitome of that Kapkan and Vigil. Vigil obviously able to evade the drones to be able to lurk, and then Kapkan's able to play around his EEDs. The sound cue of when they're shot or when they're detonated helps that player to be able to play accordingly.
Kenny,
and Reverie is doing that very well.
I'm going to talk about this Vigil, and you say lurk, and I think it's lurk and murk, if that makes sense, because think about it, right? You're going into a roam clear, and there's a Vigil on the lineup. You know it's going to be there, but you don't know where. It feels kind of like a fog where you're trying to see stuff, especially with that actual Vigil effect on the screen, because it doesn't say where. All it says is a roam clear is essential. You don't get away with that one, and that's where we saw Reverie being able to pick up kills last round. They didn't deal with that meeting pressure. They waited way too long for the push, so they couldn't. Most importantly, Reverie realized she could get in there, she can look through the hatch, she could shoot a player. Well, suddenly that push is taken away at the start and at the end. It was all down to Panther and Parallax, and well, it just wasn't meant to be. Right now, Reverie, she's going to be up above. She has that little bit of vertical play. Personally, and this is something I did in a ranked game earlier with Ace of Pirate and Kappa Fleet, and I'm flexing that, putting it out. I played with them. Name drop all the way, god damn it. Like, you know, if I played with Kickstarter Terror, hell yeah, I name drop that. But I open up that attic hatch, and I open up the meeting wall, because it does that thing as well. As we're looking at, it's forcing exactly this. Reverie and Unstable about to meet each other. A very short meeting, though. But thanks to those 50 cal Beowulf rounds in that little DMR that Maverick brings. Now, having that position, obviously it's all academic now, it's all taken away, but having that position means you have to go for a roam clear, and the Vigil means you've got to double down. If you don't do it, well, it's horrible. A minute ticking down, and a player advantage for Nova. If they stall out, they're going to struggle. They need to start getting ready to ramp up the aggression and don't take their foot off the pedal at this point. This is where we're going to see how this game plays out. And Quackerbox is deciding to ramp up the aggression himself, finding Zay and finding the same player count. Panther flames off the freezer and does the stalling for the defenders.
And Quackerbox, after that kill, ascends the laundry stairs, and he could catch Toxic lacking on the meeting hatch as his awareness is elsewhere. But the Liega's actually going to be flanking the freezer stairs. He's wary of the pressure from Zulu, and he's just going to wait out the time as the breach gets opened by the thermite from freezer into sight. He's going to be smoked off unstable as he makes his advance into the site, going to eat a lot of damage. Parallax going to push into the site, but not wary of the player on bottom main stairs, who doesn't deny the plant. 50 cal does, however. Honk Goose removed by a frag grenade. Toxic going to drop into the E-box hatch. He has a gunfight to take against the Melusi, but doesn't win it, and neither does Toxic or Panther. Down for the count. Laser move on to match point, series point, with a solid defense of the basement.
Yes, and grand final point. The big thing is that flame for me. We're looking at Nova just stalling out like they did in Attic and Trophy on that top floor. Down in that bottom floor, in Freezer. Laundry, okay? Right, normally you see a reinforcement and some sightlines made. That wasn't what Laser did because Quackerbox, well, he wanted to get aggressive. Was able to find that kill. And in doing so, well, you just shut it down. You're catching them off guard. These attackers, they're expecting, with a player advantage, to be in control. To be ready to push, to win, essentially. That didn't happen. They push through, they catch you off guard. You realize your players, they're almost entirely committed to that freezer area, and you've just flamed out your only movement. You can't even get over towards the wall to open it up because the flame is there. You're wasting time. The breach goes open, and we saw Unstable try and push through, but that wasn't going to happen. The smoke canisters were there. They were doing too much damage, so they pulled back. He tried to pull back and tried to use longer lines of sight, but it wasn't meant to be. And, well, Laser, they were able to just find crossfires, shut everything down. They just need to do it one more time. Nova, they need to do it another 4 rounds in a row. This is it, realistically. If Nova don't win this, it's all over. They're going home. Second place. We all know how heartbreaking that is. Laser, though, 1 round between them and Glory.
I really like this angle that Reverie has created, that Science was just showcasing to us. Through Attic, you impact, as we saw, from meeting on the stage wall, but the splash damage also gets the floor inside of Attic, so you can hold the tower or T1 stairs and T1 push into Green Hall from Attic. Thank you very much, Science. And that means that the attack actually has to clear tower and Attic, the top of tower, before they can push into the lower reaches of the tower, and that wastes time, wastes drones, especially if there's a Vigil playing there. The drone comes through Attic from one of the Nova players, and that is going to be swiftly shot out by Reverie. There it goes, and the Vigil spot in the side of Attic. Reverie's just going to retreat and play the life. Honk Goose is going to do the tag team with Reverie, and the duo roam up the top of the Attic / master area, and that's something that Nova have to worry about, especially when they want to take this head on. Down goes Reverie as Panther and Parallax, they fight the duo roam with the duo push themselves. It's a very efficient clear of the Vigil, but are they aware of the Jaeger?
Yes, now that's a big thing. Normally we see Reverie on that Jaeger, but no, Honk Goose is going to be on there, realizing, well, now's not the time to be pulling any punches. You have got to pull all of them. You have got to get that Jaeger. You have got to be able to do literally everything you can to get this win. Dart takes some pressure and some damage onto Toxic, but that opening kill going the way of Nova. definitely going to be that mental boost. Honkus will be Jackal tracked, but we'll be able to win the gunfight anyway. Doesn't really care. Zay's going to be taken away. Toxic takes a lot of damage on these mini tower stairs, and the Jackal scan coming through. It's not going to help. Honkus has just ran away. He's over by white stairs. He's in a position where the attackers should expect him to be anyway. A Jackal's impact has just been taken away. A 4 versus 4 time ticking down, and another Jackal scan will come through, but Honkus knows exactly where to look. Unstable's going to be winning that gunfight, though. That Ying and the Candelas will stay on the board, but it's going to be Dartex wanting to get aggressive, takes damage from the vertical, realizes, play it safe, hold it, wait. Laser, not as much pressure right now as Nova have. If Laser loses round, well, they're just gonna win the next one. And that's gonna be down on that top floor. Panther, though, is gonna try and stop all of this. Finding Mr. 50 Cal. Now the push is coming through. Parallax is gonna get down and taken away by Quackerbugs. Dartex gets one of their own. And now it's a 2 versus 2. Unstable on the hunt. Realizes these smoke canisters. We've gotta go for a push. A Candela will follow. It's gonna have to be a deep plan. And they're going to have to play alive. Toxic finds Dartex. They have the mini tower control, but the C4 goes through. Will it land the kill? No, it won't. Crackerbugs will be taken down, and Nova stay in it by the breadth of a hair. One more round. That's all they need so far. If you're the Lasers, but Nova, that's all they need to stay alive.
Oh my, the end of the round. We heard the Candelas reign in the post plant, but Toxic was the man covering amidst it all. The windstorm, the sandstorm, the firestorm that Nova created there. It was hectic, to say the least, but they came out on top. Really good coverage by the Thermite there. He was low HP, but he still covered to a T, taking the long engagement that the 2x excels at against the 1x scopes on the side of the defense. Nova stay alive. 3 more attacks needed to stay in this matchup, but it's definitely doable. An attack that round that cleared the roam effectively. The use of the Jackal was really well utilized from Nova. They were able to get the initial kill onto Reverie, and Jackal track Honkus down the freezer stairs, capitalize on that, kill him, and mount an assault onto the bomb site. We saw some hot droning in the last few seconds from Nova attackers. That's what we want to see. We want to see that team play that Laser have showcased to us. We want Nova to do the same. And it may be too little too late, but if they transition that into these next couple of rounds, we could start to see something magical happen.
Yes, their first attacking round won so far. But like you said, they need to win 3 more. That's a huge mental hill to climb. Not only do they need to win 3 more, Kenny, then they need to win Consulate. And I talked about this. Laser, they were in the back seat for Clubhouse. It was catch up all the way for them. They were definitely the underdogs at around about the halfway mark, because it was a 5-1 split, wasn't it?
Oh no.
But Consulate and Coastline. Coastline's where it all changed. That's where Laser put themselves in the driver's seat and won. I spotted it as well. Don't worry. I'm not that blind. I know I'm tired, but it's not that bad. Parallax on the Amaru. Could go through that window, and to do so right now would be a horrible decision. Crackerbox and Dartex will both be able to find the kill. Even if you get one, you're getting taken away. Zay is going to be with the Maverick. There's not going to be any... Oh! The C4 goes through, and it's going to... Toxic, no! The frag grenade is going to take away Zay! The round might have just been won in the first minute because your Maverick has been killed. Your Toxic has been injured. Your Thermite is gone. You need to put somebody down below. But most importantly, the utility's still there. Your heart breach capacity is severely limited. Your Maverick is gone. Your Buck is rotating around without getting the utility on that wall, and it's starting to just get down below. Try and push out these big positions. Parallax and Panther realize they're gonna need to go for the big window. Mr. Cal is gonna stop that, finding that kill. Unstable finds Honkus, but at this point, is it even enough? Unstable's trying to find another kill, but all the eyes of Nova are looking there. One's looking towards Reverie, but that's not gonna be enough. The kill onto Unstable comes through. It's a 2 versus 4 to stay in the game. The Claymore's down. Toxic, very low HP. Won it out last round, granted. But right now, It's not looking like a winning position. Parallax taking damage on Big Window, jumps in. Will find the Maestro on camera. It's taken away by Mr. 50 Cal. It's all down to Toxic in a 3 versus 1 with 50 seconds left. Reverie playing down below realizes how much potential you've got with this late roam. And Laser, until they call that he's pushed in, you know exactly where they are. He's going to be in this trophy. He's going to be spotted on that evil eye. And information about the vigil is going to be there. But you've got to look in multiple angles. You've got to be ready. Right now, Nova, you're just waiting for the inevitable. Toxic is going to be in the worst position we've seen Nova in all game. All day even. Trying to push through on just under 10 HP. The Meat Jammer will just give you a little bit of information. But Mr. 50 Cal's there to close it out. And Laser, a swift and brutal C3-0. We'll see them, the CENC 2021 champions, Kenny.
Congratulations to Laser on an unfortunate ending, to say the least. A calamitous ending for Nova with that team kill on the nade.
Oh.
But you've got to give props to Laser. They win out our best of 5 grand final in the quickest time possible. 3 maps. Go to them. Clubhouse 8-7. We saw Coastline 7-4. And we saw Oregon 7-3. Really good stuff. I'm impressed from, obviously, Honk Goose, our MVP. He had to have broke 40 kills for the 3 maps.
Easily.
Well, 21 for the first map, and then he had double digits for both. He maybe even hit 50, but we can get confirmation from that soon. But it's a team effort, and I think the better team won today. I think we can agree on that. Just the slight edge in team play and coordination from Lasers, and they are crowned our college year esports national champions.
Yeah, Kenny, I'm going to disagree with you a little bit, actually. I'm going to look at that game on the side of Laser, and I'm going to put out Reverie as my MVP, actually. Because she, in Clubhouse, really struggled to get many kills on the board, but the kills she did get were huge impacts. For example, let's just think about that construction Logi swing. Able to down 2 players. You get downed, but like I said with the down before, you did a lot of damage onto Reverie if you're unstable in that first round of Oregon. It's an investment for later. In doing that, you're putting so much pressure onto a team that had a lot of advantage. They were ready to push through. They had the opportunity to catch it off guard, but Reverie came around. Down 2 players. The Cali was left alone to kill her, and then had to get a revive and push through. At that point, the players on such low HP had barely accounted for 75 total, in my opinion. Pushes through. Then you think about Coastline, really start to wake up, and just won a couple of really crucial rounds, had a very noticeable impact. In the same way that Mr. 50 Cal did as well. I feel like it just took Lasers a little bit longer to warm up, and they were able to still keep pace with Nova. That's the big thing for me. So I got to agree, the best team won. But Nova, a lot of good things were there. A lot of potential was there. The first couple of rounds on their defense were very close, actually.
Yeah, and me saying the better team won is no discredit to Nova. They put up a fantastic game and a fantastic fight. And it's small margins. Siege's small margins. And those tiny changes from Lasers in their offenses were just the difference maker. And that's what sees them win out our best of 5. So congratulations to them. But second place to Nova, that's not a bad feat. We've gone throughout the whole season. Nova have come out second seed through the group stage. Lasers first seed. So they finish where they started off. Well, ended the group stages and moved through the playoffs. There's no discredit. They've had a fantastic season as well. They're not able to take home the trophy. That is Lasers. Irvine Valley. Congratulations. And well done.
Yeah, I think that's realistically all we can say. A huge shout out to the sponsors for really making this look great, because Army National Guard, Barbasol, Lenny and Larry's, Legion, Athletes Unheard, and also coming in Reveal Suits. They've all done incredible jobs, and honestly, all of them great brands. Like, you know, I've heard of most of them, and I look at them and I simply say, yeah. I mean, I don't need an ad read to tell me I need to purchase them. So I'm going to go through it very quickly and just say, just give a little description of what they do. The Army National Guard is looking for more people when Gen Z is starting to come of age. This is the moment to really get involved. And also, there's gaming involved with it. They also include quite a few things that might actually you might actually enjoy as well. Such as being in the National Guard, being able to pursue gaming as well, their Twitch channel, have the benefits of being both a serviceman and a gamer, because, well, let's be honest, we all are. Athletes Unheard, they do a lot for athletes' mental health, and college athletes as well. I think that goes for esports as well, and they're trying to just protect everyone. And, well, it's just one of those things you can never criticize. Barbasol, there you go for the shaving cream. They want you to look nice and smooth on camera, just like myself and Kenny. Look absolutely beautiful. Really good brand as well. The cookies, well, Lenny and Larry's, they got me hungry. I'm not going to lie, they go for very healthy, very good food for you to both enjoy and to eat and to look after yourself. So, all vegan, no GMO, no dairy, eggs, artificial sweeteners, no matter what you're allergic to, no matter what you can't have or you personally don't want to eat, it doesn't have it. Lenovo, well, is everything we really need to talk about. Really great providers of incredible gear for the esports scene and for gaming in general. And then reveal suits. Well, I can't afford a suit, but if I could tell you exactly where I'm going to go. I think that says all about it. But Kenny, before we shoot off, I want to give a shout out to Grissom KTAD on the production, making everything look beautiful. Science giving us stuff to cast, and ask you, have you seen much Rocket League esports?
I have actually. I personally am a lover of Rocket League esports. I think it is a fantastic game. By any chance, is that coming up?
Yes, it is. We're going to be having a couple of incredible casters going to be covering that after a break. It's going to be Max Formal and FBI Tugboat. I've heard Tugboat quite a few times. I've seen him around. He's really goddamn good. It's going to be incredible ending to the Rocket League section for the Collegiate Esports National Championship. Please check it out. Do not go anywhere, but that's all from the R6 team. Good night.